down and got that thing going. So according to you, they had an illegitimate child, illegal child. They had a bastard. But they didn't do no different than Jesus. Mary wasn't married to the angel. She wasn't married to Joseph. And she had a child named Jesus. He had to be illegitimate then. He was a bastard. His daddy, whether it was God himself, wasn't married to his mama, based upon the way you all been talking. So I go to the Nile Valley to find out. Is there something illegitimate about that? And I can't find anything illegitimate, because in those days, the marriage set, they exchange a piece of thing by value in the presence of witnesses, and that was a marriage. They came and reported that they were married to the church, or the synagogue, or the temple. That was the marriage. The maiden him. Right there on earth. So I have to go back constantly to deal with this, to deal with not only
just wait a minute here.
But the ancient Egyptians reminded me
when somebody come on, then I'll
they
turn
were
this off.
African.
It's
There's
just
no
starting.
doubt in my mind for those who claim in Egypt, because they wrote in their papyrus the word that we call paper now, which the Greeks call papyrus, from the papyrus plant, which grows in only 3 places in the world: Egypt, Ethiopia, and Sudan.
Egypt,
and they wrote on there, we, quoted from the Nebuchadnezzar, which you call hieroglyphs, we came from the beginning of the Nile, where God happily, H-A-P-I, dwells, at the foothill of the mountain of the moon. Now let us see where they said they originally came from. The beginning of the Nile. 2 places. Ethiopia, the Blue Nile. Uganda, the White Nile. Both of those bodies of waters join in Khartoum in Sudan. Run border down north. Only major running from the south to the north. And then they join with a body of water called the Atbara out of Ethiopia at a place called Atbara in Sudan. And then continue into the Great Sea, now called the Mediterranean. At the mountain of the moon, there are 2 places called mountain of the moon in Africa. Kilimanjaro means mountain of the moon. And Rwenzori, Kilimanjaro between Uganda and Kenya. Rwenzori, I'm sorry.
Oh, good day and gratitude, baby. Yeah, I was trying to draw what our elder was saying, how they meet. And yeah, I'm not an artist at all. This is very good. I was really just starting it. Our elder, Yosef Ben Johakana, it was all about the black woman. And it's on YouTube. Everything I watch is on YouTube. Yeah, everything, y'all. This is what they say, the age of information. Yep, the age of information. I believe somebody said, there's no reason to not know with all the information. Said it's at our fingertips, just like that. Everything you want right there. Google. What is that other one? Duck, go, duck, or something like that. But it's right there. Information is right there. Whatever you want to know. Yeah, it's kind of like cheating us if you ask, because, before long, folks ain't even going to be reading books anymore. Yeah. It's like it's really declining our thinking capabilities. When you think about it, people not going to start thinking. People going to start letting AI and, the system think for them. Crazy, y'all. We got to maintain us. Yeah, it's more desperate than ever. But yeah, it's so good to see y'all and stuff. I really wasn't sure, if I was going to come on tonight and stuff. I think I probably, need to give us time to process all of this. Because it is a lot. We don't read this almost every night anyway. Brother, let me know when you get your book, so that way you'll be able to read too. But yeah, this is a lot, I wish I could go a little faster with reading it and getting us through it and stuff. But, we're not used to all of this damage and stuff, such trauma that's been hidden. That's the thing that really gets to me. You know, how long was it gonna be hidden? You know, yeah, I don't like that. Yeah, don't play with my intelligence and stuff. You know, a whole race of people. You just act like, oh, shh, don't say nothing to them. They ain't gonna read it. They ain't gonna find out. Oh, yes, we did. Oh, yeah, we found out. Well, let me get this out the way because you know how it be. Yeah, I am Face the Nation, and we are on Bolden Unchained. Yeah, ain't no chains here. You can say what you want, feel how you want about our ancestors. Anything else for any group of people, keep it to yourself. Go somewhere else and say how much love and empathy that you have for white folks, Asians, Chinese, all the other peoples. Right here, it's about black people, specifically black people in America, because that's where we at. And that's what we're reading about, America, United States. But our love, empathy, forgiveness, acceptance goes to our people all over the planet. Because, honey, everybody, all of them are waiting on us to stand up, Black America. And you know how I feel about that. We ain't the only ones waiting on us. The pets of the planet, our majestic pets, they waiting on us to stand up. Somebody, please stop these white folks from coming over here hunting us. Yeah. You know what I seen that movie, y'all probably seen it too on Netflix, called Zoo, and all the animals and stuff started standing up for themselves. I only watched like the first episode, of course, you know, but the animals started standing up for themselves. Oh yeah, honey, the animals in Africa started, I believe, while they were touristing and stuff like that. And then for the zoos in New York and stuff like that, the zoos, the animals in the zoos in the United States started standing up for themselves. They said, hell, we tired of waiting on y'all ass shit. When y'all gonna stand up, black people? Yeah, so yeah, they start doing it themselves. Yeah, they might have to save us. We so traumatized. But yeah, we are here to assist Black America and Black media with the uncovering and the condemning of the many agendas, events, projects, operations, the many sabotages, studies, plans, bills, acts, so many experiments. Now they got courses, literal courses. We'll have to get into that and see what sister was talking about. What college was she at? Don't tell me other groups of people is beginning their own interrogation of Black America. No, please don't make it seem like other groups of people. Now they finna start their interrogation. So they finna get the ones that white America let fall through the cracks. Now they finna start plotting and, yeah. Well, that's what we talking about here. We got to find out where this self-hate of us come from, because it's too many against us. It is too many against us, honey. They got, like I was saying, agendas, events, bills, projects, operations, codes, compromises, acts, laws. So many targets just coming at us. And we ain't learned a thing. We ain't felt nothing. Black America ain't. No, we just continue to let them do it. So, today we here to help Black America. We gonna help you see. We gonna help you see. We finna help Black media. Switch our focus over to us, son. Yeah, they need help. Everybody need help. We need to let us, our masses, know that you're focusing on the wrong thing. Everybody got your attention, and we ain't putting it nicely. We not here to coddle us and make us feel like it's okay to watch 13 hours a day of the cooking shows and the reality shows, because it's not. We're not here to let us think it's okay to wake up in the morning time and put that baby in front of that TV with Peppa Pig and Dora the Explorer and all of them babies, Baby Boss or whatever that baby called, because it's not. Yeah, we here to let Black media. We here to help. We here to help, though. It ain't going to be easy. It ain't going to happen overnight. We ain't expecting no miracle immediately. We just expecting some effort being made. Because we got to find out what's wrong with Black America, y'all. We are hurting. We know everybody else hurting. We take such good care of it. Ooh, what's wrong with you? What can I do for you? Black America is traumatized to the point of people got us thinking we We superheroes. We don't need to be taken care of. That everybody can just keep riding down on us. And we can just keep taking it and taking it and taking it. Well, we can't. We ain't even had no healing, no therapy, nothing. Before everybody just keep piling they shit on top of us. And we can't take it no more. Black America is losing their mind. Our masses is literally stampeding. You know? So yeah, we're here to help Black America. Our first and final concern. We ain't here to hurt nobody else. We ain't here to harm nobody. If you hungry, we will slide you a meal. Somebody will give you a jacket, a blanket or something. We'll nurture and cuddle a baby till we can get it where it needs to be. But right here, our first and final concern is Black America. That's it and that's all. Yeah, we ain't going to make it hard for you to decide whose side you on. Because you got to decide. You must decide. You either on our ancestor side or you on these people's side. Where's our book at about our ancestors? You know, we about this tonight. During the daytime, you know, we learn about our ancestors and our great contributions that we still using today, that everybody's still using. Everybody but us. Everybody benefiting off every contribution that our ancestors have made after they endured this. After they endured all of this right here. You know, I was watching before this right here because I had just started this. But I was watching something else, and it was talking about Eliza Woods. And we got her on this list right here, the Black women. You know, I was telling us, I know it probably ain't many of us here because, yeah, you know we ain't ready to tell Karen what done really happened. You know. But, yeah, I was reading about, I wrote that a long time ago, but what I was looking at was Eliza Woods. They lynched Black women too. Eliza Woods was in Jackson, Tennessee, y'all, in 1886. Y'all, they grabbed that woman. They accused her of poisoning her employer, the lady. And they went and got her out of jail. A crowd of 1,000 white people went and got her out of jail, honey. And they dragged her and hanged her naked in front of the courthouse. Then the other day, I just tell us how many of these damn courthouses was the actual lynching spot of our ancestors. See, when we walk into these courthouses today, it's different from when they walk into that courthouse, when that, you know, the family members walk into that courthouse. See, the memories, that same spot. How many? Just unbelievable to me. Unbelievable. And they hung her naked in front of the courthouse. And then shot bullets in her body in front of the courthouse. The house of law, justice, you know. 3 years later, y'all, in 1889, her husband confessed that he the one killed her. Black women, they was always doing things to us. Mary Jackson and George Sanders, both of them was lynched by parties unknown as a result of killing Paul Strange. Yeah, they convicted them of it and killed them. Yeah. Everybody, you know, our babies too. And I have been talking about, because I talk about Mary Turner a lot and Mary and her baby. There's some books we got to get to about that. But it's just so much. You know, it's just so much. It seemed like nobody was spared mercy. Not the Black man or the Black woman. I know a lot of these readings that we learning today is about the Black man. But honey, it was a whole lot of Black women. I think I learned that it was 150 Black women was lynched from 1880 to 1965. My mama was born in 1952. You mean tell me they were still lynching Black women in 1865? Yep, at least 150. Now, thousands of Black women were beaten to death. One lady, what was her name? One sister, they beat her so bad. The white lady said her hips looked like liver because they said she stole $154. Then another lady, they beat her so bad, she couldn't even stand up. She had to kneel. She couldn't even stand up. They got her from her husband. Said that she stole a bale of cotton, y'all. Her and her husband had their own farm. What was her name? Her and her husband had their own farm. They took her from her husband. He couldn't even do nothing because they had 5 kids. Pearson, that was her last name, Pearson. Mally Pearson. Yeah, with Mally Pearson. Her husband was James Pearson. Yep. They had 5 children in 1952, the year my mama was born. Yeah, they got her from her husband, drove her out of town to a field, honey, and beat her, the sheriff, and 2 more men. Beat that woman so bad, they didn't even tell nobody and stuff, but later on, because, you know, they feared that they would come and get them. But later on, a white man that found out about it, he reported it to the FBI, you know, and it's a story. Her name is Mally Pearson. Honey, they didn't spare us either. If we sitting there, sister, trying to have any empathy for Karen, they didn't spare us either. Sabrina either. That little story I made up about Sabrina and Jonas Hartfield, you know, deciding to teach their babies, don't ever date white people. Don't ever date white people, date black people. They decided to let his lineage live on and not let her lineage live on because they evil. That was a story I made up. I doubt if anybody go and tell their white partner, look at here, we're going to have to tell our babies, tell our kids, do not date your people. Don't have babies with your people so that my people can live on. I doubt if anybody do that. It was a story I made up, and then you ain't going to find it nowhere where they actually said that. Because it ain't really that sincere. That was something I made up. I didn't read that nowhere. If I do, I'll be sure and let y'all know. Y'all, it happened. That's what really is happening. But no. You know, it's just, this is so, wow. Like the Twilight Zone. But yeah, we looking through a spiritual lens at all this shit. If it's going to be a Twilight Zone, we going to look at it right. We're going to look at it right before we can't look no more. Because y'all know we on our way up out of here. Don't come here and act like, you know, this is brand new. Some of this stuff, y'all been over here, Baba and them talk about it. Shit, I'm beginning to wonder here why y'all ain't said nothing. Why I ain't seen none of y'all channels on YouTube and stuff. See, that's what make me like, hell, shit, who sent y'all? Where's the comment people that be like, I didn't know either, face? Because it seemed to me like everybody know every damn thing. So I'm like, hell, well, where's the comment people that didn't know? Hell, them the ones that probably gonna feel like I feel. Them the ones gonna be like, oh yeah, I got my math. I was number 1 in math, face. I'm ready to teach you how to read numbers. You know. I'm like, shit, you know, what is really going on here? Because I know everybody ain't that ready, that willing to tell what's done happened to Black America. Because if you would have been no said it. Everybody know here what's wrong with us. Ain't nobody said it. Trying to act like it's this, it's that, it's this and that. So yeah, we looking through a spiritual lens here. And ain't no sugar here. We ain't sugarcoating nothing. We ain't gonna try to, you know, curse or hurt no feelings or disrespect nobody intentionally. But hell, the English language itself is a curse. And I do cuss. So while y'all cursing, I might be cussing. But I'm not going to be sitting up here talking about you. I bless you. No, because that's a curse. That's saying be less you. And no, I don't want you to be less. I want my people to be all we can be, that we are. We are the miracle that it's going to take to save us. You know, I want that for us. I want progress for us. You know, I don't want us to be weeded out. How are we going to let ourselves be weeded out, be diluted? And we dominate everything. Must be the fear, you know, and the fear of blasphemy, I guess. Because we do fear, you know, questioning God. And don't your Bible say, look within? I mean, it's supposed to be some pertinent lessons now in that Bible. They're supposed to at least give y'all some faith. Don't you believe in your God? You say, yeah, you believe in it. But you can't believe enough to stand up for Black people? That don't even make sense to me. Yeah, we ain't even looking through no religious lens here, no religious nothing. If you forgive white folks and stuff, keep it to yourself. Right here, we got to learn how to forgive Black people. So yeah, you can either be spiritual, learn to be spiritual, or go somewhere else. Yep. You sitting there believing, oh, it's for me. It's for me that I believe white people. I forgive white people. I give all my doubt to white people. I got to do this for me. Says who? Dr. Frances Cress Wells, and we watched it the other night. She said, you ain't got to forgive nobody. She said, and black people need to stop just forgiving folks. That's what Dr. Frances Cress Wells said. She said that many years ago. She's an ancestor now. But then, don't you know when Ahmaud Arbery was jogging through his community, his neighborhood, and then white men jumped in their cars and stuff, and they blocked him in and killed him? Don't you know his family at the trial? His husband went up, and his family immediately forgave them. Sure did. And which one it was, the family that went up and hugged him? Was that his brother? Was that another case where they done killed us and stuff? And we just admit, Lord, I forgive you. I forgive them. See, that's what religion do to us, Black America. That's why we can't have nothing to do with it. We can't have nothing to do with religion up in here. If anything, we finna dissect religion. Because you believe in something, you believe in something else, you believe in something else. William Joseph Simmons, the white man that revived the KKK, he believed in something else. I want to know who lying. We might get to that, because I need y'all to know that we can't be religious up in here. No, this is a spiritual war now. This is spiritual. Yeah. Religion went out the window when they sold y'all out, kept taking y'all money. All y'all need to go tell y'all pastor you want a refund before everybody else do. And you go, hey, I don't know. I just told you what I felt. But yeah, we look through a spiritual lens of loyalty, because Black America, we need to know, who are we loyal to? Who are we loyal to? And why? They done did all of this to us. Can't wait to do some of it again. Can't wait to do some of it again publicly. Just got to, show it a little bit. It's like a release or something. I don't know. I don't have this type of mentality, this type of brain. I can't just do stuff like this. We can't. Black people wasn't, we ain't never been this chaotic, this animalistic. We haven't. And to see us like we are now, I've been wondering myself, what the hell happened to Black people? I know I dropped out of school. I know. Hell, they wasn't teaching me nothing anyway. Y'all wasn't saying nothing. But y'all smart asses. Y'all ain't told no principal, no dean of the college, nobody. Hey, look at here. We're going to need y'all to teach what really happened. Hey, look at here, professor. Ain't I sitting in a history class? Why you talking about everything but what we need to be talking about up in here? So, see, yeah, I dropped out. Sure did. But now it's time to learn what they wouldn't have taught me anyway. What they wouldn't have taught me anyway. Because we got to decide whose side we on. We need healing, Black people. We need healing. I know everybody else taught you that you're comfortable. You got a little money. You got some fashion. You got a couple of houses and some vehicles and stuff. You living good. Your pillow got 5 tufts. Everybody else pillow got 1 tuft in. Put a tuft in. But your pillow got 5 tufts in it. You got a set of pillows that don't mean the damn thing when it comes to Black America, to your people. It don't mean nothing. Sure don't, honey. That don't mean nothing. No, what you sacrifice to get that pillow, and stop talking about your people, stop teaching your people. You just let it be. You just condoned everything. Just tolerated everything. I just hope it was worth it. Because now look at the shape your people in. Look at the shape your people in. I feel bad because I dropped out of school. But hell, y'all ass graduated. Y'all ass got PhDs and diplomas and certificates and stuff. Been married for 20, 30, 40 years. To Brad and Karen. Just neglected every Black child came in your space. Oh, yeah, you were good and nice and sweet to them. But you ain't taught them nothing. You ain't taught them nothing about their people. That was off limit. That was off the table. I bet you don't go tell Brad, we finna start teaching. We got to start teaching our children who they are. And we got to start teaching our children why they have this self-hate among our people. And Brad gonna tell you, because our people, our children ain't got nothing to do with all that out there. But they do. Why come they don't? See, because they learning from his people. They learning their mindset. Everybody, if you ask me, got the white man's mindset. Why the hell is everybody else out here crazy? Everybody is crazy as hell today. With everything that's going on, all the toxicity, all the violence on TV and your games and stuff. I don't even know if nobody play Pac-Man no more. So don't. And then the white man done made everybody feel his particular way about black people and stuff, and they done projected everything onto everybody. But then, let's think about it. Take a minute and think about it. It seems like every motherfucking body is crazy as hell, but white people. Don't that seem strange to you? I didn't know nothing about projection, projecting this onto somebody. I didn't know nothing about that. Shit, I was reading Harlequin romance and a little, Anne Rule, true crime. But shit, after Trayvon Martin, hell, I had to pick up something a little bit more with substance. For me, that was an awakening for me. That was my awakening, Trayvon Martin. Yeah. And then it was everybody else, that was killed by the police and stuff. And that opened everything else up. And that's how it's going to happen with us. And you're going to have to decide whose side you on. You either going to stand up for your ancestors finally. Because some of y'all knew this. I can't get over it. Some of y'all knew this. And then you sit around here and you prance around and you be with white folks and stuff like, yeah, everybody finna be held accountable. Transparency. And ain't nobody even took accountability for that. For all your love and stuff. Oh, white folks love us. Oh, me and Karen, Sharon, Sabrina, we've been together. We've been thick as thieves. And they ain't even went out and try to rile up their people, gather their people and say, hey, we need to help Black America get their reparations. Everybody know that's what Black people been asking for. I didn't even know that. Nope. I didn't even know that, honey. I didn't know that white America paid out, where that little card at, paid all of these other people money. They even paid the masters. Where's my little card at? They even paid white people. It's like saying, oh, since we took your slaves away, you lost your income, so we got to pay you for it. Yeah, here it is right here. They paid the Native Americans, the Jews, the slave owners. They paid the Japanese and the Italians. Ain't paid us nothing. And they ain't going to pay us nothing. So your white friends and your white spouses and stuff, what have they really let you do for us? What benefit have y'all really been able to give to us? We ain't never been able to give us no benefit. We ain't never been able to help us in no kind of way and stuff. And then America won't help us. Shit, all the African countries and stuff. And I did see like Cuba and, maybe some other companies tried to help us and offer us, citizenship over there through the years and stuff. But I'm talking about us, my people and stuff. But, for Africa, all them countries in Africa, y'all wanted to send us money. They wanted to send us money. We could come and live over there. Citizenship, America. Just like they did with the slaves. Leave them alone. Get away from them. Don't you touch them. Could nobody even help us. Ever. And right today, ain't nobody helping us. But I did see something about, Black America supposed to be getting like $151 million a piece or something. Honey, don't hold your breath. Honey, they might well just give us everything. They owe us everything. It ain't even a price on it. Yep, it ain't even a price on it. Don't hold your breath. But when we get it, honey, take your check and give it to somebody else. Now, don't be no fool and a dummy. If that man do, they put on his heart and say, okay, let's just even the field up and give him the money. We're going to get it right back in 24 hours anyway. So let's just, give him a chance and stuff and give him the money and stuff. If that do happen, please take that check and use it. Invest it for yourself. Don't go out and buy a whole bunch of cars and clothes and stuff because you can't eat that stuff. You ain't going to be able to survive with it, because things finna get real, real bad out here for us. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be ugly. We're going to need to know how to feed ourselves, our babies, Oh, I did get me some soil too when I was out. So I can finally plant that ginger. Because, it got a little sprout on it. And I need to get started with something. But, we got to look through this lens of loyalty so we can see whose side we on, because ain't nobody on our side. Ain't nobody on our side. So we need to decide whose side we on. If they ain't on our side, they ain't on our ancestors' side. Just choose wisely, Black American. Choose wisely, honey. And we look through a spiritual lens of resilience. All of this I knew about slavery. I forgave slavery. Yeah, I forgave slavery. I did. I mean, I can go out my race and stuff like that, but I forgave slavery. It happened. We got over it. It was, we all settled it. We moved past it. And then, we were freed, and we got to having babies and mingling, and there were schools and businesses built up and stuff. I thought everything was fine. I didn't know. Hell, 1865 to 1940, Kentucky and them was still, I didn't know, hell, we came off the plantation running. I did not know that. Y'all probably knew it, but I didn't know it. Imagine how many of our people never knew. We really thought that they were being sincere with us. That's why it hit me a certain type of way. It sure do. Ain't nobody said nothing either. This right here is more horrific, y'all, than slavery. What is it? Something about the chase? Because slavery was bad, because they couldn't go nowhere. They were tied down. They were shackled and beaten and just had to stay right there. They couldn't even move side to side to ease, the whips and stuff. But after we got free and stuff, they were just hunting us down like wild dogs. And, I'm like, damn, ain't nobody said a word or a whisper. It really make you think. And then they talk about take it back again, make America great again. Y'all can't see they rolling everything back. And we looking through a spiritual lens of education. Yep, because we here on Bolden Unchained to unlearn and relearn what we need to know. What we need to know. Yep, Black America, I know ain't nobody told you. Well, I ain't hear nobody say it. I'm sure one of our mentors have said it, though. Yep, I'm sure one of our mentors have said it and told y'all. Yep, it's just like this right here. It's going to be another book after the shit hit the fan. Red Summer, we're in another awakening. Black America is in another awakening because we ain't learned the first time. We didn't learn the first time. We were supposed to get away from white people when we came off them plantations. I think that was our first division once we were free, because the slaves that were scared to leave, we let them stay. We should have told them, bring y'all ass on here, and everybody should have left together. But see, all we knew was that hell, we got to go. We got to go. And I think that was our first division right there, And then after we left, it's saying like almost that same night, white folks were waiting because they knew we were leaving the plantations. So they was out looking for black people that were free. It never stopped. It never stopped. Amazing, ain't it? And it was just hidden. That's like the greatest lie ever told. But ain't that the story about Jesus? The greatest story ever told. Yeah, that's about Jesus, ain't it? I ain't never really watched it, but yeah. Let me see what's going on here. Yeah, I'm hoping we can read tonight, but oh, Marcus Gray. Oh, honey, please. Shit, y'all know y'all ain't even. Good day, my brother. Yeah, y'all ain't gonna be able to handle this pressure. Shit. Let me tell y'all something, Black America. Everybody else ain't gonna be able to handle this pressure that's coming with Trump motherfucking ass. Let us get together. Let us unite for us. Because shit, other people ain't gonna be able to handle none of it. They ass is sweating under pressure now. What are we gonna do? Black woman, please come. They need somebody to help them get through this, honey. It's finna get really terrible out here. This is getting cosmic now. Yeah, go on and call on your ancestors, because yeah, we do need the reinforcements. Yep, we need our archangels. We need our spiritual teams. You know, this is unfortunately, it's out of our hands now. Black America, we, our masses, too traumatized. Yeah, so we need to call on our ancestors because these motherfuckers think it's a joke for real. Yep, they've been doing all of this stuff to the children of the sun, the parent of all people, you know, just living just their whole life. Anti-life. The whole life is just anti-life. Yeah, and so we got to come together so we can survive because Mother Gaia and the cosmos is going to restore things. It's going to restore things. We got to get out of this mindset that we are in. This mindset that we're in, we got to get out of it. Yeah, that's the only way we're going to make it. But yeah, honey, we done been through so much, Black America. We can survive this. But honey, we're going to have to shed off all that white mentality, the white behaviors. You know, that's not going to do us no good and shit. Pull that shit off of your head so you can kind of resonate, you know, what it is that you need to be doing and looking at and thinking about and focusing on. Yep. And if you can take your shoes off, shit, take your shoes off and go walk outside. Yeah, take your shoes off and go walk outside and stuff. Be outside when the sun is very high so you can get all the energy from the sun and stuff. You know, we just got to start doing small things. Stop eating this meat. Stop eating meat so much. Just eat sometimes not meat. You know, maybe just a little bitty piece. You know, so you can have it with the rest of the bite of your food. But a whole piece of meat and then your little small size, you know, lay off of the meat and stuff, you know, just because of the carcinogens and, you know, they putting meat glue in it anyway, shit. You know, meat be so big, you know, whole big old piece of chicken to fill up this whole cup. And it's a chicken leg. But it be so big, it could damn near fill up this whole coffee cup. Yeah, so slack up on the meat and stuff, you know, Black America. Because, yeah, the many agendas against us and stuff, honey, we're going to have to use discernment. Yeah, history repeats itself. I didn't know either. I'm kind of pissed at y'all. Shoot, I know y'all didn't have the resources either, did you? Shit. Hell, face, what were we supposed to do? Shit, hell, word of mouth, tell everybody. Shit, you online anyway, on the internet anyway. But, you know, we all do it when we can. So, you know, I forgive y'all. Y'all forgive me. We forgive our ancestors because we still got to do it. We still got to do it. I don't know about y'all, but I don't want to leave my babies with everybody else. I sure don't, knowing how everybody else feel about Black people. Shit. Yeah. You know, white folks said we had Drapertonia. Well, y'all say y'all had Drapertonia because y'all don't want to leave the plantation. You got to be crazy to want to leave the plantation. Ooh, these the people y'all trust and believe. I wish I'd have known when I was a young mother, honey. You had us shooting our babies up with all them vaccines and stuff when they little. Oh, you got to bring the baby in for their 1 month shot. Bring the baby in for their 3 month shots. Did your baby get their 9 month shots? I seen a white lady the other day. I came and told y'all. They said, I guess she was taking medical courses or something. But when she got in there and stuff, and she must have been looking to see how the end of that series of vaccines was. It was like 13,000 micrograms of aluminum. In that whole schedule of one child, you know how you got to go every few months and whatever to get the baby the shot and stuff. And I guess they done with the shots at what, 4 or 5? But when they start school, then they got to take some more shots and stuff like that. Some more crazy, wicked ass shit. Yeah, we got to look into that too. You know, yeah, I don't trust nothing that people are doing. White folks especially. Yeah, it's white folks. Yeah, it's white folks. Other folks too, because they thinking like white folks. You know, I know Martin said, judge a person by their character. I think I'm going to judge them by their culture. Yeah. What is your culture doing today? Yeah, that should have been our very first judgment. Yeah, because judging them by their character here, they just acting like they cool. They acting like they safe. They acting like they like Black people, but they don't. They ain't told us the truth about nothing. Shit, you done set up here and done made a whole castle. Built your whole empire with them. You know, Black America, you know, y'all ought to feel some type of way too. Anyway, let's get the copyright disclaimer out the way because you know we have to do it. Ain't no way around it. I ain't even been looking for a loophole because they've been doing it since 1976. Maybe that's why folks ain't been, telling it and stuff. I don't know. But let's say it anyway. Copyright disclaimer under 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. So we can do this. We can talk about anything and everything we want to. And we will. Yeah, we're going to critique and read and criticize. And yeah, we're going to condemn every damn thing they done did. I am. If you can't do it, then yeah, you free to go. You are free to go from here, honey. Yeah, ain't no scholarships or nothing like that here. But, if you want to start you a news reporting channel, go on and start it. Honey, I sure will come over there. Sure will. Whatever channel you got, teaching us, helping us, go on and get it. You going to get it. We need each and every one that you can. Neely Fuller said everything. Neely Fuller said if you don't understand white supremacy and racism, everything you think you know will confuse you. White supremacy controls all of this right here. What's your specialty? I read. What's your specialty? What do you do? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Everybody hate us. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they would say you telling the story. They wouldn't say you lying and stuff. Yeah, whatever your specialty is, please get your channel because Black America need to learn. We need to unlearn all of this stuff and relearn. That's the only way we're going to wake up and see what's going on, what's happening to us. And don't sugarcoat nothing for us. We got to stop just forgiving everybody for what's being done to us. That's why don't nobody have no empathy for our asses. Shit, we forgiving this, forgiving that, forgiving this. But when it's us, we don't spare no mercy for us. But in the same time, we don't ask, why are we hurting us? Why are we self-hating us? And yeah, Dr. Ray Hagins, brother Dr. Ray Hagins, he's a pastor and a psychologist too. He did coin it dedicated ignorance. Yeah, we are committed to the self-defeating dogma, dedicated ignorance. Yeah, and this is what it meant. I wrote that down too. Undo or reverse ideas and concepts that have been programmed into the minds of our people by the religious statements and church doctrines that have caused them to adopt a belief system that has resulted in their loss of contact with what is real, factual, historical, and spiritual. So hugging a tree, like I be saying, hugging a tree. That's one of the disconnections. Hugging a tree. Just, we just so disconnected and stuff. Yeah. So we dedicated to the ignorance that, that we are perpetrating and stuff. It's almost like, we so hard on us, so white people ain't got to do it. And, but we say we really don't remember. We really don't know how hard they were on us. I know I don't. So how could we in turn be really this fearful of it? We always say, no, they won't put us in chains again. But do we subconsciously know about the slaughtering and the skinning and stuff? I just want to know where the self-hate come from. Where this dedicated ignorance come from. And I think this is the reason right here. I think the things that white America has done to us, during slavery, after slavery, and after the calm, after we were integrated and settled and mingling and marrying, but they still had these laws and codes in place against us. I think all of that right there, it finally warped our mind. Yeah. Because we got that double mask on anyway. Who came up with the double mask? We one way when we with each other, but when we're around white people, we another way. That's why it's so hard for us to find our personal freedom and to speak freely about this right here. We refuse to speak freely about anything that's going on with us. If it's got to confront white America, if it's got to let white America know, hey, y'all ain't never answered for what y'all did. How did y'all heal y'all mentality from all them cannibalistic things and devilish, atrocious, crimes y'all used to do to us? How y'all heal from that? Because, see, they ain't never had healing either. Nope, white America ain't never had healing either. And we can't heal them. No. They ain't never had no healing, honey. Kentucky told them to stop doing it publicly. Do it in private. So they ain't had no healing from it. Nope, they have not had no healing from it. They decided to do it privately. At first, they had the justice system having the jails and stuff. If they think a black man done did something, get him and lynch him. Don't even give him a trial. That's the only way. They said we'll stop doing it. Then Kentucky was like, telling Kentuckians, we can't do it like this no more. We want people to move here and feel safe and stuff. And, white America like, well, you better do it privately. They said, we'll do it privately. But then they charged the money to come and watch. Yeah, white people were knocking the bricks out of the wall and peeking over the edges and stuff. And, so they could see the lynching and stuff. Just had to be up there and see the gore of the lynching and stuff. And once it's private, I don't know how gruesome they got with it. How close did they have to get to the dismembering and stuff that white folks was doing, because it was in private and stuff, just shit that they were doing to us, and made us feel like none of it happened. Made us feel like they really made us feel like it ended at slavery. That's how I feel, in my opinion. Made us feel like it ended in slavery. Even though, a lot of the colleges, I know a lot of the colleges was teaching this. Yeah, I know you can say, Faith, them colleges was teaching this. Yeah, to them bootlicker motherfuckers that ain't told us nothing. They didn't come out of them colleges and tell us, yeah, y'all, we need to, these people sick. We need to get to ourselves. They didn't come out of them colleges telling us that. Only our people was telling us what's really going on in the background, in the minds of white people. Yep. Only black media was telling us what's going on in the minds of white people as far as we're concerned. But they buried under so much stuff, we weren't never getting the lessons from them. And then those that had the lessons, I guess we were going out keeping it to ourselves. So yeah, now here we are today. We got to decide whose side we on. It shouldn't even be a question. Whose side are we on? But it is. It's going to be a question, because some of y'all going to be like, oh, I can't see my life without white America. Yeah, it just, I don't know whether to be mad at y'all or what. Black America. The whole entire black America. I know. I just feel sad for us. I know we traumatized. I know what it is. Yep. We traumatized. So traumatized that people won't even tell us. Anybody could have came and told y'all, damn, y'all still around white folks? Why don't y'all get away from white folks? Why y'all still believing y'all in heaven with white folks? Just a fool and a dummy. Yeah, we're a fool and a dummy. Talking about we in heaven with white folks. Oh, there's no hunger in heaven. There's no pain in heaven. Everyone's happy and together. That man just said in his book, in this book right here, that man just said that he revived the Ku Klux Klan on Thanksgiving in 1915 because he seen white roadmen. He had a vision of white men riding on horses in robes in heaven. See how we just believe anything? They just told us we going to heaven, live forever, and we're going to get all our blessings. You sure is going to be less in heaven. Less than you is here. Get on up there with them if you want to, Black America. I'm just saying. Because we're not thinking about none of this. And then we think we're going to use the Bible for racial reconciliation. You got to be out of your mind. Y'all got to be out of y'all mind. I don't know who that pastor is, but honey, as soon as he see this video right here, that last video that had him in it, honey, yeah, he can call my phone. And me and him could talk, and then we could come on this live right here because he going to be reading his book, and I'm going to be reading mine. This is the text for racial reconciliation. This is the text for racial reconciliation. Where's lynching in Duluth? Those are the texts for racial reconciliation. We shouldn't even, at this point, we shouldn't even be talking about reconciling with white folks. When are we going to be talking about uniting with us? When are we going to talk about reconciling with us? Because, see, religion got us wanting to forgive. We want to forgive white folks. We just got to forgive white folks. Oh, no, Faith, you got it all wrong. You got it all wrong, Faith. It's for me. Like you just finna get, you finna just be rewarded for forgiving white folks. Forgive your ancestors, forgive yourself, and watch your rewards come. Watch your prosperity and your abundance come from your ancestors. We've been calling on a cat this whole time. We need a dog. I knew it was some reason wasn't none of that religious stuff resonating with me. It wasn't resonating with me. I knew it was something about that. How you gonna sit there and keep telling us and brainwashing us that we going to heaven? I didn't even know about all of that. But I guess somewhere I was like, shit, you did all this slavery stuff. I can't believe you're in heaven. You know? And then they the one that said, who was it? James Madison, the one that said we didn't even have souls. And we wasn't going to heaven. And then y'all turn around and say we going to heaven with them. And then one of their asses, the ones that wrote Amazing Grace. And y'all want to sing Amazing Grace. Yeah, just a fool and a dummy. But we've been brainwashed, I know. I keep saying it so I can remember. We've been brainwashed, you know. Like Dr. Joy DeGrasse said, we got post-traumatic slave syndrome. Yep. Mm-hmm. We got post-traumatic slave syndrome. It's our worst fear. We're afraid. We're afraid to admit it to white folks and see what they're going to say because we know they're going to come out the bag on us. But what can we do? We still got to stand up for ourselves. Who was that said you got to stand for something or you'll fall for anything? Can we at least stand for our babies that's after us? Can we at least stand up for the future of our people, for our lineage? You know? That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, we ain't being religious up in here. And then they done lied to y'all about religion anyway. Religion is really the path to understanding divinity. Divinity is the knowledge of cosmology and ecology and your relationship to it. Honey, religion ain't told you nothing about understanding divinity. Ain't none of y'all done went out there and hugged a tree, talked to the ancestors, meditate, give salute to the sun and the cosmos. No, because y'all done made it all a white man. It's all about a white man. Yep. Religion just done fooled y'all hook, line, and sinker. Sure have done lied to everybody. And not to mention that, y'all, other people got the same history as Jesus. I didn't even know that. Man, I wish I could call a pastor right now and ask them about this. But I stopped going to church a long time ago. Right there with Trayvon Martin. Yep, around that time. I might have went a little while after that. But it wasn't too many months later. And I was like, shit, I ain't gonna be sitting up here giving all my money. Well, I was like, shit, my community is out there. My church is out there. I give my money to people out there that need it. My people. Sure, and I quit going to church. Sure did, honey. You didn't have to treat me bad, but one time, hell, I had to damn near go off on them to help me with my rent after I've been tithing my money every month. So, you know, when that happened and stuff, I was like, shit, yep, I can get up out of here. And I ain't been back to church since. I keep my own song in my heart now. And it ain't Amazing Grace. It ain't Amazing Grace. You can bet you that. But yeah, y'all, there's Buddha. Yeah. There's Buddha. artist is Krishna. You know, I like Krishna cartoons and stuff. Then there's the movie too. Yeah. Then there's Romulus, Dionysus. Oh, y'all check this one out. Dionysus was born of a virgin on December 25th. He was placed in a manger, rode in a triumphal procession on a donkey, you know, through the town like they said Jesus was. He was a sacred king. He was killed and eaten in a Eucharistic ritual for fecundity and purification. He rose from the dead. Yep. And was the God of vine and turned water into wine. He was called the King of Kings and God of gods. He was considered the only begotten Son. He was the Savior, Redeemer, sin bearer. He was the anointed one, the Alpha and Omega. This sound familiar? He was the Alpha and Omega. He identified with the ram or the lamb, you know, the Lamb of God. Yeah. The sacrificial title of his was Dendrites, or the young man of the tree. In other words, he was crucified. He was hanged. So see, Jesus and this God, because where I'm from, see, I already done told y'all where I'm from stuff is Jesus and God. There is no Yahuwah, Yahushua, and Yahweh. So see, that's how I know y'all not really the common people. Because where I'm from, that's all it is Jesus and Yahweh. And that's who I'm looking for. Yeah, them. It ain't nothing against y'all. Y'all stay here. They're around y'all. Yep, they're around y'all. You probably just ain't talking to them and stuff. Because they're going to be like, damn, face who? I didn't even know they did that. They didn't know either, just like me. That's who I'm looking for. I want to talk to. Yeah, those that's going to be like, damn, you mean they did that bullshit and they told us? Yeah, well, you know. But I digress. You know, and then there's a Horus. Horus was born of the Virgin Isis. Yeah. You know, there's many of them. So, you know, for us to just be focused on one God, one creator. And then, you know, there's multiple universes. This is just one universe. I mean, you know, Black America, we just have to start thinking. We just got to start thinking because, shit, they done told us a whole bunch of lies. Don't nothing really make sense when you think about it. And then if they are so superior, why the hell they don't dominate nothing? You know, I'm just saying. If they so superior, why they don't dominate nothing? Why the sun don't even like them? They can't even go in the sun. Why come they don't even make babies with everybody else? You know, everybody else that make babies with them come out looking like the other person. You know, so I'm just saying, you know, between white folks and black folks and stuff, I think they done lied to y'all. I'm almost sure of it. Yep, everybody was telling y'all the truth. Malcolm was. When Martin woke up and told y'all, he was telling y'all the truth. Everybody was telling y'all the truth. White folks been lying to y'all this whole time, white America. And please, Black America, don't let me think I'm the only one that would stand up and tell black people we better get the hell away from white folks. I probably should put it subtly and, you know, and easy for us, you know, so we can digest it. But hell, we at the end now. Everybody else been putting it easy to us. Everybody else been letting us know slowly and gently what's going on. Shit, it's time everybody say, hell, wake y'all ass up. I bet our ancestors and John Brown. But you know, our ancestors is in the afterlife. John Brown is in heaven. Where the man at? What's his name? William Joseph Simmons? All of them. Yeah, see, they the ones in heaven. We not in heaven. All these demons that did all these crimes, atrocious crimes to our ancestors. Him, William Joseph Simmons, all of them. Yeah, they founding fathers too. You found it for all of they asses. Every last one of them is in heaven. Yep. And the only black people in heaven is the ones that's done entrapped themselves in slavery again. In this world and the next world, behind some gates. Hell, the man, he said, in 1915, he the one said that, you know, he revived the Ku Klux Klan. You see his name? William Joseph Simmons. He who traversed the realm of the unknown, wrested the solemn secret from the grasp of night and became the sovereign emperor master of the great lost mystery. Yeah. Honey, he had a pamphlet. He had pamphlets and stuff for his Ku Klux Klan that he wrote himself. All kind of puffery stuff. Yep. That's who is in heaven. All of them. And John Brown is up there with them. Yep. John Brown is up there with them. Now, our ancestors is in the afterlife. So, yeah, Black America, you probably want to keep going. Don't you stop in heaven. Do not, who you think is at the gates? We seen that picture when we were kids. I don't know when they took Jesus off of the gates. But I remember seeing a picture of Jesus standing at the gates. But, you know, it's there. You know, we can deny it all we want to and stuff, you know. That's our problem right today. We want to deny everything. We don't want to believe it, thinking, oh, well, after we dead and gone, it's over with. Just believe everything white folks tell us and stuff. We different. We're not the same as white folks. Of course, they got every reason to lie to us, manipulate us, play us to the side. Who was that? One of our elders called it tricknology. They got every reason to do this. Why not? Shit, somebody got to be the scapegoat. Might as well be black folks, I guess. Yep, and then I was learning about the draft riots, too. And then we're going to read. I was learning about the draft riots, too. That happened, you know, when white folks in New York City, when white folks turned their attention, because they always pissed off about the draft. You know, everybody got to go fight. Because the rich folks, you know, they could pay, you know, and they'd be excused from being drafted. But the poor white folks, like the Irish folks, you know, they had to go fight. And they were like in 1863, I think. And they didn't want to do it because they felt like, damn, so now we got to go fight and help black folks. I guess that's how they felt. You know, and they like, hell, we don't want to go help their ass. A whole bunch of black folks just going to come here and take our jobs. So, you know, they got mad about that instead of being mad about the draft. Honey, everybody switched their attention to black folks and the riots was on. The riots was on. Yep, sure was. You know, all of those massacres. Every last one of those massacres, honey, was against black people. We didn't even stand a chance. They called us the Hejira. Yep. Said black folk, we were running for our lives. Is that why we hate each other? We got this self-hate, this dedicated ignorance, because we felt like we didn't fight for us. That's because y'all ain't been teaching them babies. I wasn't either. But I bet y'all teach my grandbabies. Yeah, my grandbabies know. We got to start somewhere. Yeah, at least teach them the good stuff. Teach them about Sarah Rector, the richest little black girl in America. We ain't got to teach them all this harsh stuff right here. Hell, we can't even digest this. But we do got to teach them about our heroes, y'all. Yeah, so they little minds can start thinking and creating and stuff. Cause somebody got to get y'all asses out of them Tesla cars. Sure do. Somebody gonna have to help Black America separately from other folks. In the new world, everybody might have some oppression and stuff, but not like black people's finna have, okay? Not like black people. I don't know, it's finna be extra hard for black people in this new world right here. I really can't even imagine. My big brain can't even imagine this new world, what it's gonna mean for us. I don't know if we're gonna be underground or not. I could try to come up with something though. I bet you that. Sure can. Oh, honey, please. Yep. Yeah, well, y'all, let's read us a little bit of history right here. Oh, cool Martin Luther King Day. Shoot. I was with my family reading and studying. Sure was. I told them, shit, if we see anybody in the sky, honey, we better start asking questions. I don't care who they hologram up there. We better start asking some questions. Oh, excuse me, Cesario Borgio. I got a few questions for you before you disappear like a puff of smoke. Don't be scared. If you see an alien or whatever, you know people gonna park their cars and stuff and just be like the movie Independence Day. When they saw the huge spaceship and everybody crashed their cars and stuff, and everybody was like, and all honey, now. Whether you crash that car or not, honey, you need to be getting out. Excuse me, Mr. Gray. I got some questions to ask you right now. Yes, don't be scared, honey. Do not be scared. They've been here all this time, and they ain't hurt you or nothing. Your people done survived the worst that could ever be done to a body. A physical body that could ever be done to a physical body on this planet. So no, don't you be scared when they show a hologram up there. Not Black America. Not Black America. See, we different. We're different. Oh yeah, we're very different. We got to have some faith in ourselves. We got to have some faith in us and where we come from. See, the cosmos did manifest us. Yeah, the cosmos manifested the Black woman and the Black man. That's it. We already done, discussed and debated a little bit, how religion lied to us. If religion had told us, to understand divinity and our relationship to the cosmos and the ecology, we would have put it together. That's why we are gods. The universe manifested you. Don't that make you a god? If the universe manifested you, man, sister, if the universe manifested you, then don't that make you God, goddess? Just think about it. Just think about it, But yeah, see, that's because we don't understand the divinity, the understanding of the cosmology and the ecology. We don't understand it. We don't understand our relationship to it or it to each other. Because religion done dumbed us down, shit. Yeah, we don't even understand or believe that the Black man, the Black woman, and the Black child, which they said was Mary, Joseph, and Jesus. No, it ain't. I got right here, that's Asar, Aset, and Heru. Yeah. I know, I didn't believe it either. And I was like, whoa. I don't know what pastor to be mad at. Yeah. Well, we wait. Yeah, I didn't know what pastor to be mad at to, question about these because I haven't been there before. So, maybe y'all ask y'all pastors. If y'all go to church and stuff, why not? Somebody need to ask some questions of somebody. I mean, we are at the end now. Ain't no need in lying. I mean, these lies ain't going to do us no good in the New World Order. What we going to do with them? Still be thinking Jesus coming? Jesus Christ coming? Yeah. Well, let's read anyway. So we are on, don't really say what chapter it is, but we were reading about Detroit last. And, we had read about Newark and the violence of the 1960s. Yeah, the history of Negro white violence in the United States. See, we ain't never got away from white folks. They ain't never let up on our asses. And y'all sit there and act like, oh, we so buddy. And knowing they ain't never let up on us. Man, damn. Never mind. I know we traumatized. I know. But still, shit, don't somebody feel like hell? It's the principle of the thing. Damn. The history of Negro white violence. And this right here is in 1960. Y'all just let it go on and on and on. And they did it on and on and on and on. Yeah, them your white folks, yeah. The development of a riot ideology among urban Negroes. Well, let's see what we gonna learn right here. For the most part, the substance of this paper uses a database provided by a study of the Los Angeles riot of 1965. In that study, a random probability sample of 585 Negro respondents residing in the 182 census tracts which made up the riot curfew area, were interviewed by indigenous Negro interviewers. Let me read that one more time because that was kind of deep. It was a study. In that study, a random probability sample of 585 Negro respondents residing in the 182 census tracts, which made up the riot curfew area, were interviewed by indigenous Negro interviewers. Well, at least they were from that area, I guess. The interviewers were located, hired, and trained by the survey staff. They entered the field within 2 months after the riot and completed their task 6 months later. A sample of whites, similar in size and stratified by socioeconomic status and racial composition of the area, integrated and non-integrated, or they was gathered at the same time from areas outside of the curfew zone. An omnibus interview schedule was used, which covered mainly socioeconomic, political issues, and riot participation and riot evaluation. The interviews were generally long, usually requiring upwards of 2 hours for completion. Respondent cooperation was very good, and interviews were seldom halted for reasons of attention or cooperation lag. That means they just ran them. Yeah, they was hardly ever halted. They hardly ever stopped. Yeah, but the coded data were analyzed by conventional cross-tabulation and statistical techniques. Chi-square, chi-square, in the computer facilities available at the UCLA. Although the conclusions of this paper are based on data drawn principally from the Los Angeles riot survey, it should be kept in mind that the sense of those data are essentially duplicated by several other race riot studies. Most notably, the one following the Detroit riot of last summer. You know, we read the Detroit riot, our last reading. And that was 1967. Thus, the generalizations which follow will describe a set of conditions that exist in northern centers. Oh yeah, this is deep. Yeah, see, I don't think I could go days without reading. Because when I get back to reading this, I just stumble over words and get to stuttering and stuff. Yeah, I think you have to pretty much be really, consistent with this. Maybe a day. But other than that, I think you should just read this every day just to keep your mind in sync with it. The language itself, generalizations. How many syllables is that? Generalization. 6 syllables? Honey, please. Yeah, I see why they say put it in a book. Socioeconomic, political issues and riot participation and evaluation. Wow, it takes so much just to pronounce these words, not only to comprehend them. And you see how conniving these people are. Do you see how conniving these people are? Half of us ain't ever even had the education to even think to pronounce these words right here. Let's read. We gonna do it. We gonna learn. Everybody gonna learn. So we finna start teaching folks how to read and stuff. Keep you a book handy at all times. Yep. Some conclusions from the Los Angeles study. In describing the results of the Los Angeles study, it is appropriate to begin by dispelling some myths that persist in the minds of many white people, a large number of public officials, and some Negroes. Because some of us will believe it, honey. Yes, honey, all the master sick will believe we sick. Sure will. So let's read. Number 1, it is a myth that only a tiny fraction, 3% to 5%, that only a tiny fraction of the Negroes living in the riot zones participated in the riots. The best estimates indicate that upwards of 15% of the people interviewed in Los Angeles and Detroit claimed to have participated actively in the riot. Measures of participation was made from a number of direct and indirect angles, and each time the rate was about the same. But see, the thing about it, well, they said it is a myth. But see, the thing about it before we read on and stuff is that Black people wasn't participating in these race riots, these massacres. Black people were trying to defend themselves and get away. You know, just them saying that they were race riots, and our people are teaching us that no, these wasn't race riots, these were massacres. But see, this has been like years and years explained this way, race riots. So you see, that's why we got to do our own studying and teaching us so we can call it as it is. And 2, it is a myth that an overwhelming majority of the Negro community disapproves of those who supported the riots. At least 34%, and perhaps as high as 50%, express a sympathetic understanding of the views of the supporters. Number 3, it is a myth that most of the Negro community views the riot as a haphazard, meaningless event whose trust was a disregard for law and order. On the contrary, 92% saw it as a Negro protest. 56% thought it had a purpose, and 38% described the riot in revolutionary rhetoric, like a revolt or insurrection or revolution. And it was a justifiable protest. 64% of the respondents who said it was a protest also said the victims deserved attack. Yeah, the victims deserved attack. Number 4, it is a myth that Negroes expect and are afraid of white retaliation and a decline in the quality of the relations between Blacks and whites. Favorable effects were expected by 58% of the Negroes, unfavorable effects by only 18%. In sum, participation in and support of riots in the Negro community is by no means the position of a tiny minority of malcontents. The riot, in the eyes of a large portion of Negro citizens, was a legitimate protest against the actions of white people, and the outcomes are expected to produce an improvement in the lot of Negroes and their relationships with white people. Departing from the context of mythology, 2 additional important points should be noted. And let's see what they are. Number 1, of the 56% who claimed the riot had a purpose, each cited one or another of the following goals of the riot: to call attention to Negro problems, to express Negro hostility to white people, or to serve an instrumental purpose of improving conditions, ending discrimination, or communicating with the power structure. In all cases, these responses give justification to the action, whether it be a release of pent-up frustration or simply making the point that injustice and inequality exist among Negroes in America. The riot has been assigned the purpose of letting white people know how it is for Negroes in this country. And number 2, the second point deals with the fear the events of the riot generated in a majority of the Negro citizens. See, it scared the hell out of Negroes, out of us Black people. Their riots always, their massacres, it just send chill through our bodies and stuff. The sister that was in live from the Tulsa race riot, Sister Viola Fletcher, she was 7 years old during the Tulsa race riot, said she still have nightmares. I can just imagine. Yeah. And then, you know, we take them out in society and make them be friendly to white folks, you know. And I can just imagine what our elders was thinking, you know. So let's read. No matter the justifications for the event, 71% of the sample expressed dismay about the burning, destruction, and the killing. Lewis Harris's riot survey also describes the stark terror in his respondents. as they talked about the fires. Thus, political purpose is involved in riots, but the response of the citizens is also one of fear following its events. Because black people were terrified of white folks. We still are. Shit, we know if we come together and build anything, you better not build a song too powerful. You better not build a song or a dance. How dare you come together and try to build up another Wall Street? See, we know. We instinctively know. We do have our brave, critical thinkers and mentors out there, that are building. But the masses, our masses is who I'm speaking of. Our masses already know. No, we can't get together and build like that. That ain't going to happen. No, because we know what white America do. That's why we're going to have to come together and ensure each other that, we are faithful to us. We are going to protect us. Because if we don't do that, honey, black America ain't finna come together for nothing. You was not finna have us build up something and then they come right along and they just burn it down and destroy it and, just start grabbing black people and slaughtering black people again. And not to mention everybody else helping them. Ooh, we black America ain't no fool and a dummy now. Shit, black America like, nah, we ain't doing nothing. You can just think us lazy. You can think us lazy all you want to. See, that's because we ain't been faithful to each other. We haven't looked out for each other. We don't take care of each other. Trying to be like white America. Yep, trying to be like white America. So, yeah, now we know why we won't do it. So maybe now we can start working on that. If we ain't scared. Militants and riot ideology. Probing the data a bit deeper, an attempt was made to find out who was most likely to view the riot positively, to participate, and to expect a positive outcome. To this end, the sample was divided into 3 parts based on the respondents' expressed sympathy with radical militant Negro organizations. Those who sympathized were called militant. Those who were antagonistic were called conservatives, or more precisely, counter radicals. And those who had no pro or con position, they wasn't for it or against it, they were called uncommitted. So let me read that one more time so we can kind of get that straight. Those who sympathize with, our people were called militant. Those who were antagonistic were called conservatives or counter radicals. And those who had no pro or con position, they didn't care one way or the other, they were called uncommitted. I guess they had to see it individually. What happened? I don't know. Rather than describe each of these groups, this paper will concern itself with the characteristics of the militants compared to the non-militants. The data support the following conclusions. Number 1, militants, those identified by their radical sympathies, make up 30% of the sample and are most often found among male youth. They are more likely to be brought up in an urban setting, somewhat better educated, relatively long-term residents of the city, like over 10 years, long-term. They're more involved in religion and in possession of a more positive self-image. They are equally likely to be working and tend to be more sophisticated politically than the non-militants. In short, they are the cream of urban Negro youth in particular and urban Negro citizens in general. They the smooth, yeah. They are the cream of urban Negro youth in particular and urban Negro citizens in general. Now, number 2, militants are the most deeply aggrieved and claim to have had higher rates of personal contact with the police under conditions usually described as police misbehavior. Number 3, they are more likely to view the communication media as unfair in their portrayal of Negro problems. Number 4, they are not markedly anti-white, but they are considerably more disenchanted with whites than the non-militants. Now the militants, that's like they ain't got no time. We ain't got no time with white folks. What do you want? Take this blanket, warm yourself, go. Yeah. So they not enchanted by You know, how some folks says, oh, yeah, take this blanket and let me give you these socks right here too. And take this hat, you know. Then save nothing for your sister or your brother. So, you know, that's how they work. Number 5. They are the most active politically and more likely to endorse the advancement of the Negro cause by any method necessary. They will endorse all conventional civil rights activity and, in addition, will lend disproportionate approval to use of violent means. 3 times as many militants, 30%, as non-militants endorse the use of violence as a legitimate last resort. Now, that's the last resort. If there's no other way, then the militant guy be like, yeah, let's slap some ass. Let the slapping begin. You know. But the non-militant are probably, you know, just keep flipping the cheek, you know. And number 6, in describing the riot, the militants are more likely to use a term from the revolutionary lexicon than the non-militants. By a ratio of almost 2 to 1, they claim to have participated actively in the riot. They were much more favorable to the riot and its events than the non-militants, and project the view onto the community at large and project that view onto the community at large by claiming larger rates of community support for the riot. They are more hopeful of positive change in race relations, which undercuts the notion that they are clearly antagonistic to whites. They look for and apparently desire an improvement in Negro-white relations. Yep, so see, even though they really don't have a lot of patience and sugarcoating rhetoric for white folks, they do they are open, you know, to living and being civil with white folks. That's what I get right here. You know, it don't show that they are, you know, against white folks, because it said they're not antagonistic of whites. They just don't have patience for them. They just don't tolerate their ass. And why should we? That's what I get out of it. That's a long paragraph. We might come back to it. Number 7, finally, the militants place the responsibility for change clearly in the laps of the white people. The non-militants tend to take the view that both races must change to achieve rapprochement. Yeah, rapprochement. rapprochement. I never seen that word again. But the militants clearly ascribe the locus of change to white people. See, the militants are like, no, we can't do nothing to change this situation. White folks got to change this situation. But the non-militants is like, you know, well, we all got to change, and can we get along, and, you know, we work together, and you work together, and we all bring change and stuff. And then white folks be like, yeah, let's do that. And then black people, you know, put together all their effort, all their money, all their time, and really working to try to get change and stuff. But white folks is on the other end, like, you know, they maybe throw a dime here and a penny there and a nickel there and stuff, but they ain't really making no effort. They ain't really giving no serious time, you know, and being sincere. Another lie. Yep, and that's how it was, you know. Yeah, but the militants, they clearly ascribe to the locus of change to whites. Now, where does this take us? In the first place, it must be continuously kept in mind that the differences between militants and non-militants are those of proportions. Many militants feel this way than non-militants. It does not mean that only militants feel this way. A majority of the entire Negro population is aggrieved, angry, and disaffected. For example, compared to whites in the Los Angeles study, there are dramatic differences in the level of trust of elected officials and police by Negroes. Negroes express far higher rates of perceived political disenfranchisement and impotence to bring about change. At the same time, however, they appear to be deeply committed to bringing about change. The picture, therefore, is one of intense political concern combined with the felt importance to exert influence on the political structure. And that is a cornerstone of social unrest. Because even though they keep trying and trying, the change is not coming. Nothing's not happening. Because white America ain't doing shit. Only one side, is spinning its tires. White America on the break. That's why. That's what I think. Let's read. Thus, the climate which fosters riots is endemic in American society and in the northern urban centers particularly. The Los Angeles riot took the lid off by disinhibiting a riot response to the conditions of Negro life that have always existed. The response of the Negro ghetto residents suggests that a sufficient proportion of them view the riot as a justifiable protest form to account for the absence of counter-riot behavior on the part of the Negro community. What then are the implications of these data for the future of urban violence in America? It would seem that a sort of simplified riot ideology has taken form, and riots today have assumed the shape of a popular movement. Support, or at least sympathetic understanding, of the purpose of riots characterizes a large segment of the Negro population. Within this segment are embedded a group of sophisticated activists, young people who have provided the riot with political interpretations of purpose. They have created a race ideology, and this ideology has infected the thinking of other less sophisticated but equally disaffected individuals. It should be emphasized that this is not a description of a conspiracy. It is a description of a portion of a population, the population, that for a variety of historical and current reasons are susceptible to the idea of violent protest. That idea emerged in its clearest form in the aftermath of the Los Angeles riot and has been blown across the country on the winds of pervasive Negro discontent. Ooh, let's read that again. That idea emerged in its clearest form in the aftermath of the Los Angeles riot and has been blown across the country on the winds of pervasive Negro discontent. The creation of a riot ideology has a number of implications for this society. In the first place, it does not allow one to cite the actions of agents provocateurs, in accounting for the occurrence of a riot, unless one is willing to call the mood of the people by that name. Second, and most important, y'all, it implies that nothing can be done to stem the tide of urban disorders until they run their course. Until they run their course and it just fall out, it just end from exhaustion. There are no immediate responses within the repertoire of an angry or a person which are sufficient to expunge the outrage that gives birth to Negro violence, except the Negro's own fear of the burning and killing. And that comes only after the riot has occurred. Now, it may appear that this is an unnecessary pessimistic position, assuming the foregoing is interpreted as being pessimistic, or perhaps it appears that other equally plausible but less stark views of the underpinnings of urban riots have been overlooked. Let us examine some of the other possibilities. Let's examine. Yeah, let's do that. They wrote it. What's his name? Alan D. Grimshaw. Yeah. Riots have occurred in cities with every type of administrative structure. They have occurred in model cities. Indeed, Detroit was a well-known model city. They have occurred in cities receiving relatively large sums of poverty money and ones receiving relatively small amounts too. They have occurred in cities with compact ghetto enclaves and in cities in which the ghetto was distributed over a large area. They have occurred in cities with relatively high Negro employment and wage rates, like Detroit, and in cities with relatively low rates, like Watts. They have occurred in cities with relatively large proportions of Negroes and cities with relatively low proportions of Negroes. Clearly, what produces riots is not related to the political or economic differences between cities. It don't matter, the economic difference. What is it? White folk? Let's read. What produces riots is the shared agreement by most Negro Americans that their lot in life is unacceptable, coupled with the view by a significant minority that riots are a legitimate and productive mode of protest. Oh, they talking about Negro riots. Because somebody hungry, like if somebody hungry and want to feed their family, they go rob the store. But let's read and see. What is unacceptable about Negro life does not vary much from city to city, and the differences in Negro life from city to city are irrelevant. The unifying feature is the consensus that Negroes have been misused by whites, and this perception exists in every city in America. Thus, it is the thesis of this paper that urban riots in the North will continue until the well of available cities run dry. They will continue because the mood of many Negroes in the urban North demands them, because there's a quasi-political ideology, QUASI, political, POLITICAL, ideology which justifies them, and because there is no presently effective deterrent or antidote. Like maybe give them jobs, help them out financially to provide for themselves and their family. None of that is a possibility, I guess. Deterrence and antidotes. There are a number of approaches to riot control, none of which, if the thesis of this paper is correct, will serve to foreclose the occurrence of popular riots. Nevertheless, it is worth discussing some of these approaches simply to buttress the assertion that even if something could be done, nothing will be. Taking non-repressive methods first. Where does the war on poverty fit into all of this? The answer at present is nowhere. Congress, reflecting the attitudes of whites in this country, has always made it clear, made it clear that it is not interested in using the poverty program to ameliorate, not to mention remove, the causes of urban violence. It recently appropriated a mere $1.733 billion for the poverty program. And that only after a long and desperate fight by the proponents of the program. I mean, they had to fight to get that $1.73333 billion. Little has been said by the political leaders of this country. We will indicate both an awareness of the social causes of riots and a receptive position to costly but non-repressive methods of riot control. Quite the contrary, though. The public position of the administration is that riots, for whatever reason or whatever legitimate grievance, will not be tolerated. But this position simply reflects the position of the bulk of white Americans and represents an awareness by the country's leaders that it is impolitic to suggest that whites be prepared to make a personal sacrifice to remove the conditions of Negro life that generate a riot response. Yeah. So, this position simply reflects the position of white America that, they're not prepared to make a personal sacrifice to remove the conditions placed on black people, that could cause a riot. That's what it means. That's exactly what it means. I'm going to read it the last time, then we're going to go on. It said, but this position simply reflects the position of the bulk of white Americans and represents an awareness by the country's leaders that it is impolitic to suggest that white people be prepared to make a personal sacrifice to remove the conditions of Negro life that generate a riot response. So, yeah, we can take away, this right here and it'll ease up, give some relief to black people, but we're not going to answer the white people because it's, it's not polite. It's not political to ask white folks to sacrifice that. Is that why white folks ain't never sacrificed nothing for us? Is this the reason why white folks have never tried to sacrifice nothing for us? They ain't never tried to say, hey, let's all get on the same side with Black America. Let's all just, vote for Black America to get their reparations because of this. And so once they did that, that's how it's set, and that's how it is today. White America will not make a personal sacrifice for us, and they don't feel no type of way about it. So, yeah, Black America, you need to decide whose side you on, honey. So do. The problem of white reaction must also be faced by an investigative body appointed by the administration. In this particular case, the National Advisory Commission on Civil Disorders. Advisory commissions are appointed by the president or in a given state by a governor. And their recommendations, so far as they are taken seriously, require the support and advocacy of the appointing figure. When the issue is explosive and when the truth is unlikely to be palatable to the majority of the electorate, the commission is in a ticklish political position. Its recommendations must not offend the negatively disposed white majority. You can't defend them now. You can't offend them. If you offend them, they're going to cry, their feelings going to get hurt, and, shit going to go down from there. So, yeah, you must not offend the negatively disposed white majority or their elected representatives, Congress. Because then the appointing leader, the president or the governor, whichever one is, is activated, is being used. But then the appointed leader is placed in the embarrassing and impolitic position of having to support recommendations, which almost surely will alienate him from a significant proportion of the electorate and the legislature. Thus, the real disaster of the situation is that the Commission on Civil Disorders must be responsive to the political realities of the country. In this context, it cannot deliver the full message if by doing so, it stands to antagonize a substantial number of voters. The voters, directly or through their representatives, will reject both the recommendations and those who made them and support them. Example, the recommendations will not be implemented, and of those who advocate them, the politically vulnerable will be turned out of office. Thus, it is inconceivable that politically sensitive appointed groups would be free to issue a report which had the potential to be violently unpopular among a majority of the citizenry. The commission is bound by political considerations to make a statement which, from the viewpoint of practical politics, is both feasible and palatable. And when issue is Negro behavior, and when the issue is Negro behavior in the face of white racism, and when historically such commissions have dealt with this issue by making half a loaf recommendation, it seems unlikely that a full loaf would be requested by a politically sensitive body faced with overt white hostility to precisely the measures the commission must advocate. That makes sense? Yeah, I know this is deep, ain't it? How did they come up with all this stuff right here? Oh, wow, let's read. Thus, it seems implausible to expect the Civil Disorders Commission to recommend much beyond what is feasible for the administration to expect the country to tolerate. It's too much. All that we've done is just too much. The recommendations must go beyond others. The McCone report following the Los Angeles riot. But once again, white people will be able to avoid a confrontation with the realities of Negro life. And once again, the Negro ghetto dweller will feel that he has been sold out. And still right today, white America is able to avoid the confrontations, always able to just slip on out the door. Ain't got to be held accountable, ain't doing no transparency. Just a little bit. We're going to be transparent just a little bit. And, it's still right today. It's the same old way. It seemed like it to me. But let's read. And if this analysis is correct and predicted, it will indeed be sad, because for the first time in the history of this country, a national body of powerful men has been given access to the full body of data, and they will have once again concluded that the data and the required response to that data are, for reasons of political security, too explosive to allow an official utterance which truly tells it like it is. What then is left? Restraints imposed by the Negro community on its brothers? What then is left? Restraints imposed by the Negro community on its brothers, not likely in consideration of the mood among the Negro populace, which justifies riots, and since the conditions which provide that justification will continue in the absence of economic wherewithal to change them. It said not likely in consideration of the mood among the Negro populace, which justifies riots, and since the conditions which provide that justification will continue in the absence of the economic wherewithal to change them. It said it will continue in the absence of no money. In the absence of no money. Which we already know, white America did not then, and they do not now, wish to sacrifice no vote, no money, no signature, no nothing for the relievance of, black people's stress. They don't want to make no sacrifices. Yeah, since they didn't have to do it then, they don't want to do it now. That's what y'all get for making white America think, oh no, you don't have to answer for this. You don't have to pay us nothing. Everything is water under the bridge. You ain't got to help us get our reparations, nothing. And they don't. The police, they might, but even at best, they will involve incredible costs in lives and property. Yeah, you probably don't want to take your chances with the police now. Furthermore, it is already clear that counter-violence by the police, National Guard, or any other agency of the police control, of the public control, exerts no deterrent effect. Let me read that again. That was a lot. Furthermore, it is already clear that counter-violence by the police, National Guard, or any other agency of the public control exerts no deterrent effect. It helps to stop or control riots once they have ignited, but it does not apparently deter the impulse to ignition. It appears, however, that it is the police that the society is banking on. The police are the patsies. Patsies. The police are the patsies for a country which seems to feel that it is cheaper to kill Negroes for burning and looting than it is to spend money and create the climate which might produce a life situation which alleviates these responses. So, yeah, they feel like it's cheaper to just kill Negroes. I remember one time they was during the protests and stuff, they were saying it's cheaper. Why we paying them to kill us? Why we paying the police to kill us and stuff? Because they was never being held accountable. And so popular riots will continue, and nothing of significant worth would have been done to relieve their causes. And because nothing is being done now to alter the situation, the future is bleak. Popular riots may run their course, but what will take place after they cease if the country decides against the necessary sacrifices now on behalf of the Negro ghetto dweller? After the popular riots are over, probably in a few years, there will be a retrenchment by both blacks and whites. If at this point nothing is done by way of relieving the conditions which foster the riots, then it is entirely conceivable that politically motivated black organizations both public and clandestine, may indeed actively foment civil disturbance. Then there may well be a generation of former revolutionary groups whose cause, however futile, would be violent harassment, if not outright destruction of the urban centers, and with them, the character of American society. How could this be averted? A number of events occurring in concert might serve to reduce the possibilities of this outcome. Among them are the following: belatedly, and perhaps too late, massive infusions of money and industrial resources into the ghetto. White society simply must realize that this is essential for their own and the total society's welfare. Instead of keeping us poor, white people, white society, white America, they must realize that if for no other reason, it is in their best long-range economic interest to make a relatively short-range financial sacrifice. Just a small sacrifice, y'all. We ain't even demand their ass give back everything that your forefathers done stole. Because if I had my way, honey, everything 200, 150 years up to date, you can keep. Everything 150 years back, give it all back. Give it all back. Everything. Yeah. And if somebody say, nah, Face, we ain't going to 150 years, fuck that, we going 100 years, then so be it. So be it. Because it ain't been no sincerity for us. So yeah, that's how I feel. And white folks must realize that. The unification of the street militant and the Negro middle class in the common cause of Negro development. Let me read that again. The unification, unity. The unification of the street militant and the Negro middle class in the common cause of Negro development. I know, we like, oh, who is that? Well, it ain't Beyonce and them, I tell you that much. Yeah. This may or may not happen. If money is available to make it possible and justifiable for the Negro middle class and the militants to coalesce and to work toward a common goal, then the development of the entire Negro population, let me see, wait a minute, I lost my place. Then the development of the entire Negro population toward equality and affluence may take place if money is available to make it possible and justifiable for the Negro middle class and the militants to work towards a common goal. But as of now, there is no reason for the two to combine forces. And even if they should want to, and the burgeoning ethnic character of the Negro movement united by the commonality of the skin color suggests that such an event is possible. But even if they want to, they have no point or purpose around which to unite, except protest. Yep, except to protest. And now today, with Trump in and stuff, I don't think you'll be able to protest much more longer. Because you remember, it said that he's going to be doing something. He's going to be bringing in the police, the military, to act as domestic law enforcement against protesters using the Insurrection Act of 1807. Let me see what it said exactly. Oh, he'll be deploying the military for the use of domestic law enforcement against protesters under the Insurrection Act of 1807. So, yeah, I don't think that'll be working out much longer. You know, see how your folks love you? Everybody love y'all so much, they done put Trump all up on y'all and stuff, honey. He's signing everything. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. For all the love. Yeah, that's what happened. That's what I think anyway. I could be wrong, you know. At some point, we will be discussing these as a group and stuff, because I want to know y'all, you know, your perceivings too. What do you think about it? All right, let's read. Oh, but yeah, I wanted to say, when it said, but right now, there's no reason for the two to combine forces. Because, see, everybody thought everything was okay. And, that the black man in the ghetto and that the militant man didn't need to come together because everything was all right. Hell, he was with Karen and she was with Brad and, and everybody else was just doing, barely surviving and stuff, but as long as Brad and, and Karen and they doing and stuff and the rest of everybody looked like they were doing good. They were working and, people were getting along and stuff. And they were like, so what? The ones on the bottom ain't got nothing. Who cares about them and stuff? The ones in the middle looked like they was doing something. So they were like, well, wasn't no need to come together. Ain't that fucked up? Wasn't no need for us to come together. Like as long as we doing good with Brad and Karen, then yeah, we all right. Yeah, just sold us out and stuff. So yeah, that's why they did not come together. So let's read. Therefore, the Negro must be given the chance to organize around economic and political projects that provide for the unification of the factions within the Negro community and allow all Negroes to pursue the constructive goals of political and economic power. White society must demonstrate faith in the concept of Negro equality. And then it's got IE. I don't know what that IE stands for. I always thought it stood something like et cetera, example, I guess. But it says IE, that the whites are truly willing for the Negroes, as well as Negroes, to enter into a society which is black and white. Ooh, let me read that one more time. White society must demonstrate faith in the concept of Negro equality, that the whites were truly willing for the Negroes to enter into a society which is black and white. And whites were never truly willing because they weren't never sincere. They weren't never sincere. I don't know what year was this talking about, this study right here, honey. You mean they fooled more than us? I don't believe that. No, they didn't fool more than us. They all knew what was going on. They no longer believe that white people will allow them to take their place in this society, regardless of what they may do, by way of proving themselves. For the Negro to stop rioting, he must first feel that honest and legitimate action will be sufficient to gain entry. Thus, the country must enact open housing laws, open its trade unions, provide equal access to the courts, and strike all the other overt and covert devices which serve to keep the Negro in his place. The points of this is twofold. There's no place in a democracy for institutionalized discrimination, and there is no other way to restore the faith of the Negro American in this quasi-democracy, save by demonstrating to him that it is a true democracy worthy of his commitment. And see, white America ain't never showed us that. They have never showed us that. Even when they did attempt to, what did it say? Enact open housing laws and open its trade unions and provide equal access to the courts. Strike all the other overt and covert devices which serve to keep the Negro in his place. Even though they claimed they did those things. It wasn't sincere. It was not sincere. Right today, that's why nothing is sincere. Because everybody always let it, it's not sincere. It's not 100% sincere. It's only, 12% sincere. But people let it slide. Nobody held white America accountable. That's why white America is still like this. Ain't received no kind of healing. They ain't even been told they motherfucking sick. Ain't nobody told white America they sick. Ain't nobody told white America that they sick as hell. Sure haven't, honey. Well, somebody will. Yep. The Negro must believe it is worth his time to work and achieve. He must believe that all the trappings of affluence will come as easily to him as they appear to come to most white people. He must be able to say to himself, nothing is keeping me here except the absence of my own industry. As it stands now, there are ample real justifications for erratic behavior and disaffection. The myths and stereotypes still exist in the minds of white people about the nature of the Negro American. Negro American? Is that where they finna go? When they finna come out this African American? In which I believe Jesse Jackson, somebody said, started it. Let's read. Whites still justify their actions in terms of fanciful or superficial beliefs about Negro behavior. These beliefs are prevalent in white liberals, and they are endemic in the average citizen. Neither Negro behavior nor white attitudes will change until the Negro is given a true chance to develop his potential. And we still ain't got a true chance to develop our potential. Not a sincere chance. No. We sure haven't, honey. We got to get it out the mud to make anything happen. Anything just to get here and do this. We got to go get it out the mud. Just to sit here and do this. Can you imagine doing something more than just reading a book? What Black America got to go through? Yeah, they put it in the book. We're going to read everything we can, too. And that's white America. Neither Negro behavior nor white attitudes will change until the Negro is given a true chance to develop his potential. And he will not have a true chance until the country decides to make available to him the climate and resources which led to the outcome which we all presumably want. Self-help projects in the face of legal and extra-legal restraints are a lie. If the Negro is to do what whites evidently want him to do, namely become like them, they must accept two facts. Two, the Negro is black and he gonna remain black. And self-hate is a hypocritical sham if white people refuse to provide equal access to their society. Yep. Oh, I think we want to go. Let me see. What was this? Oh, wow. Look at all of this. Now, this is some math right here. Oh, look at all this math for your ass. Look. When I say you got to get your math class, I mean you got to get your math class. Look at all this right here. Can you see that? Let me open up this screen because I want you to see all of this right here. Hold on just a minute, honey. Look at all of this. You see why you got to get your math class? Can you see all that math right there? Huh? I'm so confused. It's like somebody beget somebody else. That x to the second power equal 10.36 IDFP is less than 0.01. Yeah, we're going to read the words. When you get your class and stuff, then, we'll read the numbers. Because, yeah, that's quite a bit. But it's talking about some good stuff, though. Like table 8 is the favorability toward riot and social distance. Control for area of residence and condition of home in percentages. Yeah. Table 7, activity in riot and social distance. Control for area of residence and condition of home. Yeah, all of it. Then it's got the educational level and unemployment status and stuff. Let's read. Let me see what time it is, because, I don't want to keep y'all long and stuff, Yeah, ain't nobody in time out, Detention, where we got to keep reading and stuff. Ghetto social structure and riot support. The role of white contact, social distance, and discrimination. And this right here is about Raymond J. Murphy and James M. Watson. Race riots in America, which we know are massacres. Race riots in America in the late 19th century and the first half of the 20th century were confrontations between groups of white people and Negroes. Unlike these classical American race riots, the urban riots of the 1960s have been actions of destruction and looting taken by Negroes within the ghetto. So this right here is going to be like, when after George Floyd and all the riots in our own communities and stuff, Black folks had a fear of going in white folks' neighborhoods burning down stuff. You know why Black folks was in Black folks burning down stuff, even though we were mad as hell at white folks. That's kind of like when, when white folks started the terror cars and they were driving through Black folks' neighborhoods doing drive-bys. And then Black folks started driving through white folks' neighborhood doing drive-bys. And at one point, the book said they were doing drive-bys on each other, but then white folks stopped. And Black folks kept doing drive-bys on themselves. Black folks turned the gun around on each other. That seemed like the same thing as saying, let me give me some tea and you go get you some too. That seemed like what that's talking about. Now, I don't know about nobody else, but shit, that's what I see. That white America flipped the script on Black America. I mean, shit, how did they do that? It seemed like they always. I just be wondering, how do white America flip the script on us? I know I just read that it's reverse psychology, but every time, I mean, they did flip it around and have us shooting the guns on ourselves. It just seemed like they always have that upper hand and they end up turning it around on us. And so, and so here it is. Once again, we see that we are destroying our own communities and, nobody knows why. Because we scared of white America. We are afraid to show who we really upset and angry at, who's really the problem, on us. That's what I feel like. Yep. Okay. It is this self-destructive character that lends justification to describing such acts of violence as revolts rather than as riots. But this does not mean that racial factors have not been involved in the recent riots. In Los Angeles, as in other cities with recent riots, the selective nature of the burning and looting, especially in the riot's early stages, indicates that white merchants was a prime target. And it said especially in the riot's early stages. And it seemed that white merchants was a prime target. A prime target. They was who they were going after. The verbal abuse. So when did it change? The verbal abuse of the police and the arrest that triggered the riot point to the police as another major target. So when did Black people make themselves the target? Let's read. Undoubtedly, such revolts have their roots in the problems of poverty and discrimination that form the heritage of the American Negro. Research findings from the riots of the 1960s, however, indicate that these most obvious causes of unrest do not exhaust our understanding of the motivations of rioters, nor do many of the findings make sense in a purely economic or discrimination framework. Data from Detroit and Los Angeles, for example, indicate that the most active participants in riots in those cities were likely to be employed rather than unemployed. Little evidence exists that the rioters were newly arrived persons, uprooted in a cold, hostile urban environment. Participants seem to represent the relatively well-educated along with the illiterate and dropout populations. Support for violence seems to be far more widespread than the educated guesses of the social scientists or the observations of public officials would lead us to expect. Support for violence seems to be far more widespread than the educated guesses of the social scientists or the observations of public officials would lead us to expect. It seems evident that many more questions will have to be asked and answered before we can understand the complexities of contemporary urban racial violence. Many more questions will have to be asked and answered before we can understand the complexities and contemporary urban racial violence. The present paper presents an attempt to raise questions concerning an area of long-standing sociological interest, the role of interracial contact in mitigating sentiments and acts of militance. Since the liberal stance of sociologists have affirmed and reaffirmed the utility and social value of interracial contact as an aid to understanding and a necessary ingredient in the reduction of prejudice, such an examination seems timely and worthwhile. What y'all think? The sample of respondents upon which our analysis depends was selected as part of the Los Angeles riot study conducted at the UCLA, and that was following the August riots in 1965. A total of 586 respondents were selected from the curfew zone, an area designated by acting Governor Glenn Anderson in the aftermath of the rioting. This 46.5 square mile area included not only the Negro Getty in South Central Los Angeles, but surrounding areas of mixed racial populations as well. Respondents were selected on the basis of a probability sample of addresses in the designated area. Quota techniques permitted an age-sex distribution approximating that report in the 1960 census tabulations. Quota techniques permitted an age-sex distribution approximating that reported in the 1960 census tabulations. Oh, they reported in the census, the 1960 census. I hardly ever follow the census. I sign it. What they do it every 10 years? Because they always say that it's for the money that your community get. So, yeah. I always thought they were lying, but, a common assumption of those who have shown concern for reducing tensions between whites and Negroes in American society is that an increase in equalitarian interracial context will lead to a reduction in prejudice and out-group hostility. Now, so instead of giving us money and finances and funds to make our life easier, to make the stresses easier, are they saying that interracial contact would make it easier? Maybe I'm wrong. Let's see here. A common assumption of those who have shown concern for reducing tensions between white people and Negroes in American society is that an increase in equalitarian interracial contacts will lead to a reduction in prejudice and out-group hostility. It'll calm us. It'll smooth our aches and pains and our hungers and our lack for finance and funds and comfort, so we can provide for ourselves. But they feel like if we're around white folks and, we got white folks, their acceptance, and, we could be around them and stuff, that's all it takes. Yeah, that was the excuse they felt like. So they were like, yeah, let's go ahead and let's just, let's be friends with them. Let's hang and mingle with them. Is that why everybody is around us? Because then white folks were like, yeah, let's just be friends with them and stuff. At least they'll feel we friends. They won't focus on the hunger so much. They won't focus on the poverty so much. They'll be too busy, being happy that we're friends with them. We accept them finally. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what happened. That's what I think happened. I don't know. It seemed like it to me. I mean, how much plainer can it get? As long as we just be around them and stuff, we ain't got to give them. That's like when they came out with that, what's that phrase? Long as they don't say we gonna give them nothing, we ain't got to. Venine the bet. what is it? Benign neglect. Yes, it's different too. Yeah, I never heard of it before till I read and learned about it. I think it's benign neglect. Benign. If I'm spelling it right. Neglect. I might have to write it down, see if I'm spelling it right. But you know I ain't gonna write it in this book. I gotta take to the library, honey. I have to buy it. Yeah, but I think it's called benign or benign neglect. And then that means kind of like, as long as they don't say, yeah, we'll pay y'all reparations, that they ain't gotta do nothing, they ain't gotta say nothing. They ain't got to renege on and say, oh, we were, but we not. So as long as they don't, say it, then they ain't got to pay us nothing. That's what happened with 40 acres and a mule, because they did mention it. They did say it. So that's why, everybody like, where's our 40 acres and a mule? You owe us. So, they got smart and they were like, well, from now on, we ain't going to say shit. We ain't going to say we giving up nothing. Not that as far as reparations. We'll hear them saying, yeah, we're going to do this for housing and education and, other stuff. But as far as reparations, they will never say, we going to do this. They'll say, oh, we got studies to do. And, them studies be like 7 years, 10 years, and then it's another study and another study. But hell, what you studying us for? You need to be studying white folks. That's the only study you need to do. One study on white folks. I don't know why everybody letting them make it so difficult and complex. Black America, somebody tell them what they need to know. See, we've been too soft with them. We let them tell us anything, treat us any kind of way, do anything. Yeah, but honey, this is bigger than holding our dollar now. Yeah, you better hold your dollar and your seed and your sperm, your cell. Yeah, you spend that money and all that with black people. Because we trying to keep our lineage alive now. That's it. This right here is about survival for us. Dr. Francis Cresswell said these people is worried about white genetic survival. White genetic survival. That's what's on their mind. And that's what's got to be on our mind too. Black genetic survival. Say it. Black genetics. Put it in the chat. Black genetic survival. I put it in the chat myself. I sure will. Hold on. And I'm going to put it. Yeah, I know y'all be saying, don't do it, caps. It seemed like you, it seemed like you yelling. What you said, Black American survival. Okay, all right. I can go there too. Because, this is about helping black people survive. I don't care. Yeah, Black American survival. Yep, long live black people. I know that's how I feel, honey. Yep. Long live the black man. Yep. That's just how I feel. Everybody don't feel like that about the black man. I do. My daddy was black. Yeah. My brothers are black. That's just like, shout out to the black man just because. Why we need a reason? Why do we need a reason to love the black man? He ours. He is ours. Now we act like we can't stand him and stuff, and the white woman act like she love him so much. But everything that we reading about is about her ass. What her ass done did. It's crazy. I'm like, damn shit. Now, who got Drapetonia? Not trying to escape from slavery. But who got Drapetonia for trying to run back? And, I'm just, yeah. White folks done lied to us so much, we don't even know what to believe. Yeah, I just wish, we had believed in us. If we'd have believed in us, we wouldn't be going through all this shit with white folks. They would already know. Your ass fucked up and you better not fuck up again with us. You got one chance. One chance, white America. We ain't set no boundaries for them at all. No boundaries. We ain't went no contact with white America. We ain't done nothing. We just let them, give us some flowers. Yep, give us some flowers. Give us a hug, a pat on the back, and everything's forgiven. Yep, everything's forgiven. All of this stuff they done did to us. That's why we fucked up in the head. But let's read. Yep. So it said, it seems evident that many more questions will have to be asked and answered before we can understand the complexities of contemporary urban racial violence. The present paper represents an attempt to raise questions concerning an area of long-standing sociological interest, the role of interracial contact in mitigating sentiments and acts of militance. There it is again, the role of interracial contact, mitigating sentiments and acts of militance. So that's like saying me or you. So some white person gonna stroll up in here and calm you down. That's what that means. That interracial contact in mitigating sentiments and acts of militance. Now, that's how I'm taking it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I wish a Karen would. Yeah, calm down, face. You can't tell me to calm down. And you know can't nobody else tell me to calm down. Okay, honey. All the lies that's been told. All these secrets they trying to keep with them till we die. Yeah, I can see it now. Telling all our kids and grandkids. Yeah, your grandmama, I remember that name. Your great-great-grandmama. Yeah, we've been waiting on all of them to leave. We'd be too old to do anything. You know, we'd probably be 93 or 103 years old and stuff. And we ain't got no gumption and stuff, no energy and stuff. We can't motivate the kids because we weak ourselves. Barely can talk. Hardly can remember names and stuff and what happened. And yeah, we got to do it now. We have to do this now. Sure do, honey. I don't know who told y'all we got time. But yeah, let's read. Since the liberal stance of sociologists has affirmed and reaffirmed the utility and social value of interracial contact as an aid to understanding and a necessary ingredient in the reduction of prejudice, such an examination seems timely and worthwhile. Since the liberal stance of sociologists has affirmed and reaffirmed the utility and social value of interracial contact. Oh, they just think white folks just soothe everything wrong with us. They call Black America done let them think that. Yeah, Black America done let these folks think that all long as you just provide a little interracial contact, let white folks just get up in there and be friendly and mingle and stuff, you know. Black folks will find a way. They'll calm down and they'll find a way around them struggles and stuff. Because, see, they got what they need there. They got that little contact from white folks. That's a bunch of bullshit. And Black America, it's time for you to stand up and know that white America ain't got nothing for you. Nothing. Quit acting like hell because you holding hands with him. That's that shit Martin was talking. That's why Black America think, oh, as long as we holding hands, swinging hands together and shit. Just pitiful. That's what it seemed like to me when I read it. The sample of respondents upon which our analysis depends was selected as part of the Los Angeles riot study, another study conducted at the UCLA following the August riots in 1965. Oh, we already read that, damn. Yeah, it wasn't another study. That's the same study. Because I sure often say, damn, another study? Another study. Oh, yeah. Y'all, it is. Yeah. Oh, I think I done lost my page here. Because, honey, I'm just, I hope this ain't another study. It's so many. Social scientists in the 1940s and the 1950s studied in some detail the effects of interracial association on the reduction of prejudice. I don't know. Well, what I'm getting out of all of this right here is that they are saying by this study that, you know, interracial contact is supposed to be the relief that Black America needs from our poverty. And I don't see how. I don't see how is any of that supposed to help us with our issues with poverty and you know, our lives in the ghetto. Our lack. But it seems like everywhere that I'm reading right here, that's what it's talking about. And I bet that's why they do it like that. Okay, this theme is particularly prominent. Let me back up a little bit. Because we're talking about the 1960 census tabulations. A common assumption of those who have shown concern for reducing tensions between whites and Negroes in American society is an increase in egalitarian interracial contacts will lead to a reduction in prejudice and out-group hostility. That's when I said that, they trying to say that interacting with white folks and stuff will, relieve the poverty that we feel and live. Just by, hey, I guess that's when they decided, hey, mingle and marry so black folks will feel like, it ain't so bad. And is that when y'all started running to white women like that and stuff? Black men and black women started running to white men and stuff? Well, let's read. White liberals placed great hope on education and voluntary social contact as crucial factors in improving race relations. So they placed great hope on education and voluntary social contact. So education while we learning. Ain't that some shit? And social contact so they motherfucking asses can monitor what we studying in education. You see all the backhand bullshit they be doing? Look at that. This theme is particularly prominent in the sizable literature on intergroup relations that was produced during the 1940s and 1950s. Intergroup relations, when you in a whole group, it's a group of y'all, and you studying together and stuff. We still do that. Or we used to when I was in school. Everybody work in groups and stuff, and then you pair off, and then you come back together as a group. Yeah, kind of like that right there. Honey, that wasn't nothing but a scheme. That wasn't nothing but a scheme. Because it said right here, white liberals place great hope on education and voluntary social contact as crucial factors in improving race relations. So it was voluntary. We would be like, yeah, we'll work together as a team. We'll work together as a team. And that right there was just so that, white folks could keep an eye on what we were studying while we were being educated. Making sure we don't get to these type of books right here, see. They some conniving asses. That's why they can't be trusted. Not this go round. We're going to have to know something this go round. Yeah, they can't just tell us anything. We need to be for us. Yeah, we're going to have to be for us. I don't even trust them. I know some of us going to be like, no, Faze, we got to trust them. We all got to fight this one together right here. All right, we'll do what the people want to do. But I'm telling you, you better get all the information and knowledge before you make that crucial decision. Before you make that crucial decision. Because in everything that I've been reading, these books, since we started, it ain't no trust to be had. None. Everybody else will say whatever they want to say. Maybe they didn't read it. But I know we reading it right here, and I don't see no trust to be had. Not from us. Hell, if anything, white America need to be bending their ass over backwards to get us to trust them. Now, we ain't finna be doing all this bending backwards, stretching, singing, dancing, cooking. Come to the cookout. Let me braid your hair, all this and that to get in with their asses. What we doing? Trying to show them, oh, we don't suspect y'all or nothing. No, we got to stop with the bullshit. But let's read. Yeah, can't none of y'all have me thinking like y'all will. We ain't never going nowhere. Sure ain't, honey. I don't know. If we do, you just probably need to be quiet. Hold the receipts. I have them all for you here. Hold all of this. Yep. Because you sure don't need to talk. No, honey, you don't need to say a word. Social scientists in the 1940s and the 1950s studied in some detail the effects of interracial association on the reduction of prejudice. So what? So we can't have prejudice against them? Because we know it's racist against us. and this was in the 1940s and 50s. I'm pretty sure by then, we was pretty skeptical of white folks. And we should have been by then. And so, maybe they were saying, interracial association and getting along and stuff, it'll help us to not have so much prejudice against them, So let's read. The extensive literature on this topic indicates that equal status contact is associated with relatively low anti-Negro prejudice among whites, and although less research has been done among Negro populations, the available literature suggests that equalitarian contact leads to a reduction in anti-white prejudice as well. For a summary of the studies of the effects of equal status contact on the attitudes of the white majority, see Wilner, Walke, and Cook, 1955, ESP, pages 155 to 161. For an example of the study dealing with the attitudes of Negroes as affected by contacts with whites, see Works, 1961, pages 47 to 52. One of the most comprehensive studies of this problem is that prepared at Cornell University by Robin Williams and his associates. Utilizing data derived from the white and Negro populations of 4 middle-sized American cities, the authors investigated the role of social contact and social distance in the reduction of intergroup tensions and prejudice. After a review of findings, Williams concludes that as long as we remain by Black people, we can ascertain, monitor, and refrain them from feeling any type of way towards white America. Pretty much. Let's see. This is what he said. We have seen that close interethnic contacts in the community studied are relatively rare and that they tend to attract the less prejudiced on both sides. Within each ethnic grouping, there is associational inbreeding, sleeping together, inbreeding by both reason of positive preferences and by reason of defensive withdrawal against feared out-group relationships. But when there is repeated interethnic associations, the statistically dominant outcomes are relatively friendly interaction and reduced prejudice, at least in the context in which the interactions occur. We did find some exceptions, but the dominant uniformity is surely quite impressive and not at all to be taken for granted. And that's Williams, 1964, pages 215 to 216. For an additional discussion based on the same data, see Noel and Pinky, 1964, pages 609 to 622. I don't know, it's additional reading. The researchers are careful to point out, however, that prejudice can best be reduced through conditions of contact, which are truly equalitarian, which occur in a supportive, normative environment, and when interaction is focused on common goals and interests, the same way that white women, white girls and stuff in school that are cheerleaders act like they have so much in common with the Black man because he's the star of the football or the baseball or the basketball team. And so the white women, we got stuff in common. I like you, you like me. Nobody's really experiencing prejudice about what has been done by white folks, because we can't be racist because we ain't got no power to be racist. However, we're not going to be overly prejudiced and suspicious of white folks because we're all in a normal setting. We all get along. I like football. You like football. We have the same goals and, we like the same athletes and stuff. So, yeah, let's just mingle, marry, and procreate because that right there will totally put the Black man off of his guard. And then the white woman can swoop on in there and, yeah, he's hers. Same with the Black woman and the white man and stuff. Yeah, it's all a sham. You see how that works? Right there in the book. I'm convinced that white folks was having their own meetings and teachings and stuff about these books. You see how that works? Wow, let's read it again. Because now we're going to utilize data. That's what it said right here. Let's back up so you can get what this study is again. One of the most comprehensive studies. This is one of the most comprehensive studies. They sound like they took this study and ran with it. They sound like they took this study and sent it to every school, every university, every grade school, high school, college, university, fraternity, wherever black people and white people is at doing sports, whatever. I don't care if they swimming, running the field or what. They sound like they sent this study to them and let them know, hey, we got them. We got them. We know how to turn them off like a switch. And that was it. So let me show you how I feel about it when I read it. Because it said using data derived. One of the most comprehensive studies of this problem is that prepared at Cornell University by Robin Williams and his associates. That's who did the study. Look it up if you want to. Utilizing data derived from the white and Negro populations of 4 middle-sized American cities. The authors investigated the role of social contact, getting along when you're outside. You at the movies, you at the park, you at the game, you just having social contact. And social distance in reduction to intergroup tensions and prejudice. After a review of the findings, William concludes. And then, while they was getting all this data, they got the data when they was having social contact and social distance. So, whether they were mingling together or not mingling together. All of this data is compiled. And this is what they decided. What I just said. But let me read it like he wrote. We have seen that close interethnic contacts in the community study are relatively rare and that they tend to attract the less prejudiced on both sides. Within each ethnic grouping, there is associational inbreeding, both by reasons of positive preferences and by reason of defensive withdrawal against feared outgroup relations. But when there's repeated interethnic association, they see each other all the time. They become like normal and familiar, with each other. It says it right there. But when there is repeated interethnic, at first it said we have seen that close interethnic contacts. And them close interethnic contacts, they tend to attract the less prejudiced on both sides. Now, with each ethnic grouping, there is associational inbreeding, both by reasons of positive preferences and by reason of defensive withdrawal against feared outgroup relations. But when there is a repeated interethnic association, the statistically dominant outcomes are relatively friendly interaction and reduced prejudice, at least in the context in which the interactions occur. We did find some exceptions, but the dormant uniformity is surely quite impressive and that not at all taken for granted. For an additional discussion based on the same data, see Noah and Pinckney, 1964, pages 609 to 622. Yeah, that's what I feel like it's saying. Yeah, so see, y'all put yourself in them situations and stuff. Y'all let yourself become familiar and wrapped up in it. And that seems to be, what you attracted to, what you like. But like Brother Umar Johnson said, you can't put yourself in them situations and hope that you're going to find a queen that understands you and that knows you, that resonates with you if you don't put yourself over here with all these white rabbits. You got to put yourself where you're supposed to be. That's what I took it to mean when I heard him talking about it. Like, yeah, you can't put yourself in a room full of cats and then talk about, I wanted a dog. I wanted to fall in love with a dog. I needed a dog. But hell, you sitting in a room with cats. See, our mentality is shot by the manipulation that white America been doing to us. Shit, that's who doing it. Shit, ain't nobody else. White America the one playing these mind games with black America. Hell, everybody know. Shit, quit acting like it's just happening. Oh, it's just happening. Life is coming to an end. Our face is just our time. All right, let's read. The researchers are careful to point out, however, that prejudice can best be reduced through conditions of contact, which are truly egalitarian, which occur in a supportive, normative environment, and when interaction is focused on common goals and interests. See, they know the black man's goals and interests is, entertainment like music and stuff and sports to get off all that energy. See, the cosmos gave us the keys to, athletic. When I say we dominate everything, the cosmos gave us the keys to all of those. And sports is our number one release for all of this energy. See, no one can match it because they don't have it. That's why they jealous of it. But even if we didn't exercise all of our energy in sports and music and stuff, it wouldn't do them no good. They can't match it. They don't have it. The world will just be a boring ass place. You get it? That's what I think. But anyway, so they put, all these white girls and little white boys and stuff, around black people, and the setting is already there. Just set a normative setting, a supportive, normative environment like school or a game or, just interacting, being with each other all the time. If one accepts the proposition that egalitarian social contact with white people reduces anti-white prejudice among Negroes, it seems to follow that persons with such contact will tend to display fewer sentiments of hostility against white institutions, and symbols of white authority. Ooh, wait. Y'all get that? It says, if one accepts the proposition that egalitarian social contact with white people reduces anti-white prejudice among Negroes, it don't make them have them anti-white intuitions. You know how you feel like, oh yeah, I ain't going camping with all them white folks. So see, it reduces them prejudices where you listen to your instinct. Your guts is telling you. That's like after school, after the game. All the white guys is on the back of their pickup truck. And they saying, come on, Faze, come on, we'll drop you off at home. And your instincts is telling you, don't you get it. I don't see no black folks and stuff, because you finna go. But then your instinct kick in and say, don't you get your ass on that truck with all them white boys and stuff. You start remembering shit they done said and the way they were looking at you when you just looked at them all of a sudden. You caught them staring at you and stuff. You just knew one of them had, done something behind your back to your food that your mama fixed you. So, you were going to get on that truck, but then your instincts kicked in and you like, I better not go on there with them. Well, see, that's what it's talking about. You be around them so much and stuff that you can let go of them intuitions. You ain't got to pay attention to your third eye when your mind, the hair on the back of your neck standing up. You ain't got to pay attention to that no more, see? Because you around them now, you done let your guards down. Yeah, that's what it's talking about. See, that didn't do us good, integrating with folks, with white folks and stuff like we did. What we should have did is just been like, all right, we can work around y'all. We can even work together on some jobs, but that's it. We don't want to do all the extra with y'all. But see, our people weren't even thinking like that. So here we are today. But let's read. So it said, if one accepts the proposition that egalitarian social contact with white people reduces anti-white prejudice among Negroes, it seems to follow that persons with such contact would tend to display fewer sentiments of hostility against white institutions and symbols of white authority. So in other words, if the black person feel like that about white people, then they'll let their guards down as far as institutions and, white authority and stuff like that too. And yeah, I tend to believe that because, I do see some of our brothers and stuff done let all guard down. They don't watch out nothing for mean black women. Yep, that's all they watch out for, mean black women. and then they act so shocked. I be like, well, darn, but yeah, it seemed like that's what it's talking about. Yeah. Accordingly, we would expect those in our present sample who have experienced social contact with white people to be less active and supportive of the riot. Yep, less active and less supportive of the riot. Data from our larger study, however, showed no relationship between social contact and riot participation or favorability. Yeah, and that's a lot of data. Wow, I don't know if we want to read all that, and it is really tiny. Let me see if we do read that. We probably have to come back to that and read that about what they said about the data from that larger study. Cause honey, what's this? Patterns in American racial violence. That's gonna be a good chapter right after this one right here. Patterns in American racial violence. I bet they're gonna tell us every time Black America try to get up and build something, white America went out, came out the bag. But let's read. One reason for this lack of relationship may be that social contact is a function of the socioeconomic level of the respondent. That is, persons in lower socioeconomic levels in the community have fewer social contacts with white persons. And that's true. White people that got money don't really want to socialize with Black people that don't got money. They don't even want to socialize with Black people that got money. So you see, so I don't think their feelings really change towards Black people. Maybe some Black people, they could tolerate them, if they got money and wealth and they kind of reserved, but they really can't stand them. Yeah. All of our measures of socioeconomic status and lifestyle show that this is indeed the case. The strong relationship between socioeconomic level and social contact may thus confound the relationship between contact and riot participation and support. A more adequate test of the hypothesis that social contact reduces riot support would be provided by controlling for our various measures of socioeconomic level. We have done this and have presented all controls except for education in dichotomous, dichotomous, dichotomous form. The relationship between social contact and each of our two measures of riot support has been re-examined, and the results are presented in tables 1 and 2. Table 1 shows that for each of our 3 socioeconomic controls, employment status, occupation, and education, there is none at all, no significant relationship between participation in the riot and social contact with white persons. Table 2 indicates that there is no significant relationship between favorability toward the riot and social contact with white people when socioeconomic status level is controlled. In table 3 and 4, the same relationships are examined using 2 measures of lifestyle, area of residence, and the condition of home as controls. Both tables show that social contact and racial support. Both tables show that social contact and riot support are unrelated. Oh, I guess. I have to read this some more and stuff. And I would actually have to look at all this math and stuff because I think they lying. I just read that they were saying social contact is a way to brainwash, to dumb down the Black man and his need for self-preservation. Social contact, Black man or Black woman, that social contact, is the way to dumb down their need for self-preservation. Instead of putting themselves first and their own well-being first, they put white America and the contact and the comfort of white America first. That's what I think, though. Let's read. Therefore, we can find no relationship between social contact with white people and participation in and favorability toward the riot when we employ other various measures of socioeconomic position and lifestyle as controls. Well, maybe that's because when they add all these other elements in there, then it changes things. Because it said when we employ our various measures of socioeconomic position and lifestyle as controls. Mm-hmm. If riot support implies hostility toward white people, our data indicates that its magnitude is unaffected by contact with white people. Another more direct measure of attitude toward white persons is provided by a social distance item used in our study. This is an item which inquires whether or not the respondent would find it distasteful to go to a party where the majority of people was white. Like I was just saying, the black guy that got out of school and was finna get on the bus with all them white folks. Same thing almost. Where the majority of persons was white. We have treated this item as an indication of the desire for white contact. Williams and his associates used the same item as a measure of negative feeling towards whites. And that's Williams, 1964, pages 29 through 30. Data from our larger study indicate that social distance is significantly related to riot participation and favorability among our respondents. We would like to know, however, is whether this significant relationship holds up when we control our measures of socioeconomic level and lifestyle. Does this relation exist for persons at all levels of the community structure? Or is the social distance riot support relationship a function of one's stratification position? Some evidence that social distance is class linked is provided by the Williams study. I always wondered that, I ain't gonna even talk too much on it and stuff, because that interracial stuff, honey, I be like, wow, for real? But I digress, you'll love who you love. Just know who loved them. The Great Reservoir. Where are we at here? Oh, table 5. See, this is a lot of tables. Yeah. You're going to have to get your class, and maybe we'll get this book again so you can kind of, school us on all of this right here, honey. Because, I can just read and stuff. I can read, but, all of this math and stuff, honey, you got some work to do. Sure do. Well, anyway, let's read. Table 5. Table 5 shows the relationship between social distance and riot participation with controls for each of our socioeconomic variables. For our data to be in support of Williams' position, we will have to find that those in low socioeconomic positions with high social distance responses would be most bitter and resentful towards white people and thus be most likely to have participated in the riot. Instead, we find that the highest levels of activity appear when high social distance is coupled with high socioeconomic position. In addition, Table 5 shows that the relationship between social distance and activity is significant only among those in the higher socioeconomic level. Table 6 shows the relationship between riot favorability and social distance with the same controls. Here, as contrasted with activity, we find that the socioeconomic controls do not differentiate either the magnitude of favorability or the strength of the relationship between negative feeling towards white people and the riot favorability. And riot favorability. In both low and high socioeconomic levels, we find significant differences between low and high social distance and support for the riot. We feel that the lack of structural differentiation in the case of favorability is due to the fact that this is an attitudinal, attitudinal, that this is an attitudinal, like attitude. This is an attitudinal rather than behavioral variable. This language is wow, really awesome, ain't it? Our data indicate that attitudinal support for the riot is widespread in the community and thus overrides any effects that structural differences may produce. Thus, our data do not support Williams' conclusion. Favorability is unrelated to socioeconomic level, and activity is significantly related to high social distance only in the higher economic levels of our sample population. Let us now consider our measures of lifestyle. So much studies on us. That's what this is. We really reading about a study on us. They really trying to figure out how can they get us to just lower our levels, lower our intuition, our what is it called when you use your discernment? That's what this looked like to me. Yeah, now y'all know what y'all got to do with y'all babies and stuff. Let us now consider our measures of lifestyle. Table 7 shows that by far the greatest amount of activity is reported by those who enjoy higher lifestyles and have high social distance feelings. The relationship between social distance and activity is insignificant among those in the low areas and those with poor housing, but highly significant among those with higher lifestyles. Table 8 presents data on the relationship between social distance and favorability toward the riot, control for lifestyle. As with our controls for socioeconomic level, we find that in both lifestyle levels, the relationship between favorability and social distance is significant. This time, however, the relationship is stronger in the higher area of residence and among those living in better kept homes. Among those expressing high social distance, 69.7% in the low area report support for the riot, and in the high area, 79.2% are favorable. Thus, our findings, control for differences in lifestyle, again contradict the conclusion of Williams that there is a close relationship between high social distance and latent hostility or aggressiveness against whites among the lower segments of the Negro community. If we can assume that a massive outburst of violence presents the opportunity for such resentment to be aired, then it appears from our data that this resentment is just as or more likely to find expression in riot participation by those who are better off than by those who are disadvantaged. So it seems like those who are better off will be the ones. Yeah, those who are not better off will be just like, we can handle this. It's just the way it is. And just try to dog it their way through it. Probably because that's what we used to. But let's read. Indeed, we may hypothesize from our data that racial animosity is a prime factor in the motivations of persons in higher levels of the community to participate in and give support to violence against the symbols and institutions of the white-dominated society. Yeah, we may hypothesize that racial animosity is a prime factor in the motivations of persons in higher levels of the community to participate and give support to violence against the symbols and institutions of the white-dominated society. An indication of the pressures and psychological difficulties experienced by those Negroes who have achieved modest success and aspire to greater participation and acceptance by white is indicated by Clark. Man, and he had a lot to say. A lot. I mean, these people, they really do their work, boy, I'm telling you. Middle-class Negroes do not generally react with the overt, active hostility prevalent in many members of the working class, but they do. But they, too, are often hostile in ways similar to the larger pattern of white middle-class competitiveness, yet complicated by the persistent problems of racial anxiety, hypersensitivity, and defensiveness. Yeah, they say we just high strung. The middle class Negro is demanding the right to share in the status symbols of personal success, quality education for his children, white-collar managerial or executive jobs, a fine home in one of the better neighborhoods. Having accepted the same value system which the white middle-class whites live by, middle-class Negroes are forced to compete with them even at the risk of conflict. See, trying to be just like them. That Negroes continue to seek to imitate the patterns of middle-class white people is a compliment. Not the threat it may seem, but a compliment in large part, undeserved, and the scars inflicted upon Negroes who are constantly confronted by the flight of those they encounter are deep and permanent. Wow, that was confusing. Shoot. That Negroes continue to seek to imitate the patterns of middle-class white people is a compliment to them. It's a compliment to them. It reinforces their mindset that we want to be just like them. It reinforces their mindset that they have programmed us to be exactly today where they want us to be, imitating them. That way we're not ourselves. You don't see us. They are able and free to, parade the black vibe, the black swag, be it a woman or a man. That's what I get out of it. And they're saying it right here. Yeah. So the middle class Negro, and they said we high strung. Hell, that's why, because of them. And all the Negro want, the middle class Negro is demanding the right to share in the status symbols of personal success. We just want to look like we successful. But we truly don't have personal freedom. We just look like we successful, going to the same schools, dressing high and mighty, got a big old house and stuff. But as far as having personal freedom, that's not on here anywhere. I don't see it. No. Yeah. So you see, having accepted the same value system which the white middle class live by, middle class Negroes are forced to compete with them, even at the risk of conflict. Because white folks don't like that. How you gonna get a bigger house than him? How you gonna get a bigger car than him? Ride much smoother than him. See, that's what they don't like. That's where your ass finna start some trouble at. But see, Black America just want that personal success. And even at the risk of conflict, it says it right there. We went for personal success, and not personal freedom. Yep. It said that's what I get out of it. I don't know what y'all get out of it, but let's read. That Negroes continue to seek to imitate the patterns of white class America is a compliment, not the threat it may seem, but a compliment in large part undeserved. And the scars inflicted upon Negroes who are constantly confronted by the flight of those they encounter are deep and permanent. The wounded appear to eschew bitterness, eschew, E-S-C-H-E-W. Yeah. The wounded appear to eschew bitterness and hatred, but not far below the often genial, courteous surface, lies a contempt that cannot easily be disguised. Well, I hope it ain't talking about no contempt on black folks, because we ain't got no contempt for white folks. White folks got contempt for us. Well, that's what all he said. That was Clark. Well, our data indicate that social distance is less closely related to riot participation and support among lower status Negroes than it is among those in the relatively higher levels of the ghetto community. We must therefore look to other factors as more salient in the motivations for violence among those in the lower segments of the social structure. James Q. Wilson, in his discussion of Negro politics, has suggested that the goals of Negroes can be classified analytically as status goals and welfare goals. Ain't that some shit? On this distinction, see Wilson, 1960, chapter 8. The status goals of Negroes center around integration and greater mobility opportunities in the broader society. As such, Wilson indicates they are most important to middle-class Negroes. Okay, the status goals. Yeah, the status goals are more important to middle-class Negroes. Welfare goals, on the other hand, represent demands for an improvement in the day-to-day living conditions of persons living in the ghetto. Better teachers. Wow, for real. Better teachers, more and better jobs, decent housing, hospitals in the community, etc. Such conditions are more salient to lower or working class Negroes. Additionally, accordingly, we might hypothesize that those lower in the social structure of the community were motivated to riot participation and support by factors indicative of economic hardship rather than by frustrations accompanying competition with white people for greater participation in the broader society. Now, these people were getting out there and they were participating in the riot because they was pissed about being poor. They wasn't, concerned about white folks and participating, or competing with white folks and what they got and stuff. So, yeah, they were more likely to be out there, at the riot. Yeah. Although we do not have a direct measure of the salience of economic hardship as it was perceived by respondents, an indirect test of this hypothesis may be undertaken through the use of our measure of perceived discrimination. We feel that this is appropriate in as much as the majority of our respondents reported that jobs represented the type of discrimination most frequently experienced, and those in low residential areas and with poorly kept homes had experienced significantly more discrimination than those who enjoyed higher lifestyles. And we know everybody with a higher lifestyle, they live much easier. Their life is much easier, than those with lower class lifestyle, I would say from ourselves and other people. I would say from ourselves and other people. Because, you can tell you got that lower lifestyle. You don't have money. You probably, struggling right now. Yeah. But then ain't it fucked up because some rich folks and stuff don't even dress rich. You would literally think they poor as hell, but they just sitting on money. Yeah, like, like a slap in the face, huh? Sitting beside you. Or passing beside you and stuff, looking the same as you and stuff, when they're full. They got money in their pocket, though, and haven't even offered you a dime and see you sleeping on the sidewalk. Yep. Well, then right here it says, Table 9 shows the relationship between perceived discrimination and riot activity when controlled for area of residence and condition of home. This table shows that in the low areas of residence in the ghetto, those who perceive high discrimination report significantly more participation in the riot than those who sense less discrimination. Those who perceive high discrimination report significantly more participation in the riot. Yeah, so people that's discriminated against more, yeah, hell yeah, they're going to be at the riot. Where else they going to be? They trying to get there and tell on some folks, get some changes made. So yeah, they would be at the riot. That makes sense to me. Similarly, persons with high discrimination perception living in poorly kept homes are more likely to indicate participation in the riot than those who feel less discrimination. Again, no relationship can be found between perceived discrimination and participation among those who live in well-kept homes. Yep, and again, we know that those with easier lives and stuff, they don't really see a reason to go to a riot or a protest. They with white folks saying, why y'all out there protesting? Oh, it's such an inconvenience. Table 10 presents data, and that's because we can't empathize with each other anymore. That connection is broke. where we can't empathize with each other anymore. So that person, that sister is unable to tell her friends, her white friends, what's going on, or even express what's happening. So nobody understands and nobody cares. Yeah. Table 10 presents data on the relationship between favorability toward the riot and perceived discrimination with the two controls for lifestyle. We see that in both low and high lifestyle groups, there is a significant relationship between perceived discrimination and favorability. In both levels, those perceiving higher discrimination are more likely to indicate a favorable reaction to the riot. In terms of the magnitude of support, however, we note that among those sensing high discrimination, persons in the low residential areas are somewhat more likely to indicate favorability, 64.8%, than those living in higher residential areas, 56.2%. The same pattern holds for condition of home. Those perceiving high discrimination who live in poorly kept homes report greater support, 66.4%, than those perceiving equally high discrimination living in well-kept homes, 59.2%. Thus, the evidence in these tables seem to uphold the hypothesis that riot support is associated with economic hardship. And there you have it. Yep, economic hardship. We need money. Ain't that what economic mean? Money, economic hardship. We need our reparations. We need money. But then you know what America did? America went and put everybody on a 2-week pay schedule, payroll. Everybody get paid every 2 weeks now because it would be harder on Black America. I know that's why they did. The only time you can get you a job paying a weekly pay is if you go to the temp service. Yep, you go to the temp service. And then that's a setup because the temp service pay you good. You get paid every week. But see, if you get hired through the company, you'll get paid more. However, you'll be getting paid every 2 weeks. Yeah, they so sneaky. I know that's why they did it. Yeah. Damnest thing, ain't it? Well, let's read. Let's see how much more we got. Oh, we ain't got that much more to this. This must be a little short chapter. Yeah, it looked like I'm trying to get a little cockeyed reading here. Oh no, this the last page, honey, and then we will be on part 2. Look, we right here, we right here right now, and then we got this right here to read and family. Then we are on part 2. We getting there. So are we seeing some kind of a pattern of why we got all this self-hate among ourselves and our people? I think I see something, but yeah, I think we're going to get there. We're going to find out where this stemmed from, this self-hate, this dedicated ignorance. And then we got to go tell everybody else. We got to go. I know they're going to say, we already know that. We're good. Well, now let's find out what's the solution. How do we fix it? And we probably going to have to read and find that out too. Yeah, and then they're going to say, we already know that. We're going to let them say what they want to say, but we trying to heal Black America. I know, right? Let's read. Several findings stemming from our research require special emphasis. First, it is important to note that a high level of discontent seems to pervade the entire curfew community. Everybody that's got to go in at a certain time, they ain't resonating with it. This is particularly striking in the light of the often repeated refrain that problems of police brutality and exploitation by merchants are essentially confined to the poor segments of the segregated community, which is why we should be patrolling our own communities anyway. This is particularly striking in the light of the often repeated refrain that problems of police brutality and exploitation by merchants are essentially confined to the poor segments of the segregated community. Silberman, for example, argues that squalid housing, a narrow range of job possibilities, frequent unemployment, low pay, exploitation, whether real or imagined, exploitation by landlords, shopkeepers, and employers, police brutality. See, these are the grievances that animate the Negroes that live in the big city slums. Oh, well, that's how they feel about us, I suppose. Yeah. Well, for all the love, right? And that was in Silberman, 1964, page 138. Silberman. Silberman. We have found that these grievances are indeed salient for the Negroes in Los Angeles and are related to support for the riot and participation in it, but they are not limited to those who form the underclass of the Negro community. Evidence of a class link is shown only in perceived discrimination. So what they trying to say? That the underclass don't fall for the bullshit? Cause we don't. Hell, we know shit. Cause Karen might give us, a coat or something like that. It's just a coat. Her ass got a lot of coats at home. You gonna give us a coat and then think you done something for us? Oh, we go and hang out and you think that that's it. So I guess they saying that lower class people, we fine. I wear my own damn coat, But let's read and see. Second, we have presented indirect but compelling evidence that the motivations of persons supporting the riot vary with their relative positions in the structure of the community. Those who are better off seem to evidence considerably anti-white sentiment. Those who are better off seem to evidence considerable anti-white sentiment, which is significantly related to their participation in violence. Those less fortunate rebel against discrimination and appear to be motivated mainly by economic discontent, mistreatment, or exploitation by white people, merchants, and the police. Seems to be a source of riot support for all levels in the ghetto. Such evidence of differential motivations points to the hypothesis that the more fortunate members of the community compare themselves with the white majority, with the white people, and feel frustrated at their inability to gain benefits in keeping with their status aspiration. So they feel like they identify with white folks and stuff, but they frustrated because they can't really get there, where the white people at and stuff. And then white people still look at them like, oh, you still ain't shit. So yeah, they frustrated, as hell. They finally feel like, damn, we got up here and still can't get in. Like the door still locked. So it's unfortunate, but you should have stayed where you're supposed to be at. But let's read, I want to read that one more time just to see. Such evidence of differential motivation points to the hypothesis that the more fortunate members of the community compare themselves with the white majority, and they feel frustrated at their inability to gain benefits in keeping with their status aspirations. Ain't that fucked up? Yeah, we looking down on y'all. We ain't like y'all no more. We gonna move on over here where the white folks at and stuff. And then they look at themselves like they in the group with the white folks, and white folks looking at them like, y'all still ain't shit here. We still ain't unlocking the door. Just wow. Yeah, they use that social contact, with making black folks think that they were better and they actually made it. And yeah, you can come on up here, but you can't get in. And black folks fell for it all. Yeah. Such persons have made social and economic gains, but along with their mobility have gone rising levels of expectations. We have seen that the amount of social contact with white people increases with improvements in socioeconomic status. But we have also seen that discontent increases as social contact increases. We would expect that continued contact with white persons by those Negroes who have made economic gains would serve to increase their impatience and frustration at not being able to enjoy the same freedom of movement and opportunity taken for granted by white persons in their quest of the American dream. Wow. We would expect that continued contact with white people who have made by those Negroes who have made economic gains would serve to increase their impatience and frustration and not being able to enjoy the same freedom of movement and opportunity taken for granted. So they trying to say that continuing to be in contact with white people, would eventually make the black people impatient and frustrated because they really can't get up there, and incite them to violence against white people. But see, black people don't have a history of violence against white people. So why does it seem like this right here is talking about, Negroes, black people are trying to get up there with white folks, and they get so far and get the bump in their head and stuff, and then they get angry and mad and frustrated and unleash violence on white folks. And that's not true. They are rioting and stuff for a better life for them. This is wow. We should just stay our asses away from white folks. Then we wouldn't even have to do all of this. Let's read. The better element, it is often argued, would be responsible and orderly and understand the necessity for a gradualist solution to the Negro problem. Furthermore, such sensible and enlightened elements in the community will serve as models for their less fortunate brothers. We find little room for such an optimistic appraisal. If our analysis is correct, the problems of urban life for the Negro, even in the palm-line spaciousness of Los Angeles, have grown acute, and a significant number of Negroes, successful or unsuccessful, are emotionally prepared for violence as a strategy or solution to end the problems of segregation, exploitation, and subordination. So, wow. They said black men are emotionally prepared for violence as a strategy, as a solution to end the problems of segregation, exploitation, and subordination. They've been lying on y'all for a long time, black men. Yes, honey, this right here seemed like they said that y'all was prepared to fight, to unleash y'all rage, to end the problems of segregation, the problems of exploitation, and the problems of subordination. Yeah, and that's why all of these things right here that they have put on you, black man, black American, black woman. Yeah, see, we'll be starting on chapter 9 tomorrow. Look, they did all of that right there so they could turn around and make you, the scapegoat to the rest of the world. And that's why the rest of the world see you, black America, black man and black woman, as, incorrigible, no good, can't be helped, can't be trusted. That's how they see us. And so that's why we have to do these studies right here. And I know this is a lot. I don't know, y'all. We're going to make it back around and read these books again. When we do, we're going to have a couple of readers. Yeah, I know, brother, you said you waiting on your book too. This book right here. Yep. And maybe I will put together that list of books. Because it's going to take a while to get through this right here to find out where this self-hate comes from. Why is it so deep in us? And y'all know I was doing some research on our differences because we are different from white folks. And our hair, our hair is part of our central nervous system. Yes, our hair is part of our central nervous system. Check this out, y'all. Let me get it right now. Our hair transmits huge amounts of information, y'all, to our brain stem, our limbic system, and the neocortex. Just our hair. Our hair does that, giving extrasensory capabilities and heightened awareness. Our hair does all that. See, that right there is just some added knowledge on how we're different. I don't think white folks hair do that. I really don't think so. But this is about black folks and stuff, And the limbic system, the limbic system is like your hypothalamus and your thalamus and stuff. It regulates like your your emotions. Yeah. Your emotions, your behavior, and stuff like that. And then your neocortex is like, your memory and learning and stuff like that. So your hair, our hair, y'all, don't cut your hair no more, honey. Just take care of it, so your hair can help you. You know, we've been doing everything. Leave it natural. Leave our hair natural. Because, you know, when you go to doing it, altering it and stuff like that, I don't think it really gives us the benefits that we can get from it. Because, yeah, we're in a time now we need everything. We need everything that we got so that, you know, we can fight this war. We can come out on the other end of this. You know, somebody gonna win. You know, we don't want to be on the bottom, you know, always. You know, we want to get to our greatness. We got greatness. It's us. We the miracle we waiting on. Yeah. What you say, Rhapsody? Well, you ain't on nobody's side, well, honey. You probably in the wrong room anyway. Most of the whites here in the U.S. are descendants of criminals that the king sent to the U.S. to get y'all trifling ancestors out of their country. Yeah, you probably in the wrong room, honey. And you can leave. Yeah. Hey, Lizzie Hunter. Nothing, just reading history, all this shit white folks done. Yes, honey, them some cruel motherfuckers. Sure wills. Them is some cruel motherfuckers. Black people, you better not trust they ass for nothing. And anybody that don't know whose side they on, don't trust they ass either. Don't you trust they ass either. Yeah, you. I'm talking about you. Sure wills, honey. Your ass ain't trusted in here. Sure ain't. If you don't know whose side you on, you definitely not trusted in here by me. I don't care whoever else trusts you. I don't. Sure don't, honey. This right here is for one side and one side only. You can't come in here and straddle nothing. You ain't finna put a leg over here and a leg over here for nothing. You either put both of them legs on one side or, yeah, you probably need to go. Honey, we ain't here for all of that shit no more. Sure ain't. I don't know who you are, but shit, if you ain't now one of my people, then shit, I know your ass in the wrong room. Yeah, you know. Yeah, we ain't here for all that and stuff. Yeah, we ain't finna go back and forth with people that Harriet would have shot. Shit, we just gonna let you know you in the wrong room, and we appreciate you, and yeah, you can go. Yep. I know black people been indoctrinated. Well, we at the end of our rope, fucking with white folks and fucking with other folks. We ain't got no more patience. We ain't got no more tolerance. We damn near insane. Black masses out here just running off a cliff. Just one after the other. Just running and falling off the cliff. Black America. Our masses out here. Fucking with everybody else, trusting in everybody else. Just because some white men have let their guards down, some black men done let their guards down, and that's their life. Some black women done let their guards down, and that's their life. That don't mean that's the collective, the way for the collective. At some point, you know, we got to be like, hey, we here for black life. We here to preserve black life. Yes, that is what it's about right here. That's what it's about right here. That's what it needs to be about everywhere. We need to preserve ourselves. All this time, y'all motherfuckers done set up here and you done let white folks indoctrinate and set down what they want to have happen. Not one time did anybody stand up and say, no, white can't be pure. You can't be like that. But since you do want to be like that and you started it, stay like that. Why didn't everybody tell them that? No, wait a minute. Hold on, black people, wait. Ain't they been beating y'all ass, dragging y'all and shit, claiming that they want to be pure? Hold on, black folks, wait. Why ain't nobody said nothing? Now y'all asses act like, oh, that's the key. Yeah, FAFO. FAFO if you want to, Black America. But yeah, we finna get on out of here. And we about right on time, 3:34, ain't it? But yeah, you know, peace and power to the people. And oh yeah, Rhapsody, honey, you in the wrong room. Yeah. What are you talking about? Black people help white folks enslave black people. This ain't no one-sided shit. Yeah, you gonna be the first one. Turn the heat up on his ass shit. You gonna be the first one. Yeah, but I love y'all, my people, and we will be back tomorrow. Cause if this don't resonate, it's damn sure gonna irritate. Yeah, and I love y'all. Peace and power to the people. And teach them babies. Teach our babies. And you know what I say. Keep our money and keep ourselves. We all for us now. Love who you love. Hey, love who you love. Just make sure who loves them. All right, don't get yourself caught up, Black America. This is the last chance right here. We got to do for us. We trying to live and prolong our lineage. Those of us that know. If you know, you know. If you don't know, that's too bad. You in the wrong place to learn right here. Yeah, that's what it is. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. The ancestors willing.